A classic tonight at Ron Poe Stadium, the McKinney Lions and the Sherman Bearcats. But if you want to hear that game, you might want to tune in to KMAD 102.5 because we're at Memorial Stadium in Frisco. We have two teams combined 2-14 on the season. It's McKinney North and Frisco. Senior Spotlight and Coaches Show coming up next on 97.5 KLAK.
0.5 KLAK.
Well, it's senior night here at Frisco's Memorial Stadium. It's hard to judge the crowd because a lot of the parents are down on the field for the seniors, and it looks like the majority of the people in this entire complex are on the field at the moment. About, I'd say, 50 fans for McKinney North and probably less than that in the stands over here for Frisco. Of course, we have two teams, one 0-8, the Frisco Raccoons, 0-5 in district, and the McKinney North Bulldogs 2-6, 1-4 in district. And, it's one of those games where both schools thought they would be in a better position entering this season, and no one thought this would be the game that it is.
Well, yeah, you look back at the preseason predictions. Frisco, I think, got 2 first-place votes among the coaches poll. And, we kind of knew something was up when the McKinney schools got a call back in, August or something, that they're not going to field a JV team where the Raccoons. And, Monty, as a guy, we've both grown up in the small schools, 2A, 3A between us. If you don't have a JV team, and we all had JV teams, even the small schools, and we probably even, I'm sure you had a freshman team too. If you don't field a JV team, that means you're hurting for players.
Yeah, not only just here, but, a lot of it is because Frisco Wakeland, Frisco Liberty, Frisco Centennial. I mean, there are just so many Frisco schools now that one school is not keeping up, and unfortunately, it always happens to the old school.
That's it. And I mean, not quite to this extent, but McKinney saw it when Boyd and North opened up. They were robbed of some players real fast who went to the new schools, and I'll tell you something. It ain't over for Frisco. There's another one coming in 2009, another high school, and I feel bad because I'm a guy who likes tradition. There's something about saying you've played football for 100 years versus 100 quarters, and Frisco has a tradition. They've made some playoff runs, but if you look down the list, Monty, they haven't made a decent playoff run in over 10 years, and that's simply because their players are getting cherry-picked, and this has to be, for their sake, I hope, this has to be the Valley, because I just can't see if you don't have a JV team how many more players can be cherry-picked off your team.
Well, one game that sure is getting some attention around the area is at Ron Poe Stadium tonight, McKinney and Sherman. McKinney undefeated in district, 9-4A. Actually, I take that back. They have one loss, 4-1. It's Sherman that is undefeated at 5-0 in district play. The top offense in district 9-4A, well, that's McKinney, 492 yards per game. Sherman just underneath that, 441 yards per game. But we're looking at a game right now with Frisco, who's last in the district in offense, and McKinney North, who is second to last in the district in defense. So you never know who's going to win a game like this. You would think McKinney North would. You'd think McKinney North would have more firepower than Frisco, who's 0-8, but you just never know how these things shape up.
Yeah, and the good thing about it for the Raccoons, if you look at it this way, this is a district that's loaded with offensive talent. So being last in a loaded district is not so bad as being last, say, for defense, because if you're last in defense, it's awful. And the good news for us, at least, these teams should be somewhat fairly equal. So records aside, there should be at least a decent game today.
By the way, I want to remind you once again, if you're tuning in and thinking you're getting the McKinney-Sherman game, tune over to sister station KMAD 102.5 Mad Rock. Again, that's 102.5 Mad Rock. They have the game. It's the Sherman broadcast, so don't be offended when they're not rooting for McKinney.
And I can tell you,
we do.
Jay has crossed the line. He used to be on our broadcast last year, and he's been on previous years prior to that. He's now a Sherman Bearcat, and you may be in for a shock hearing a somewhat familiar voice, not cheering for the familiar team.
Yeah, Jay Lindley doing the play-by-play for Sherman now, done a great job over there along with Ed Meacham. Rob Johnson, who was with us last year, also over
We're
there.
getting a lot of defectors.
Yeah, doing sidelines for the Sherman Bearcats.
So how long will it be before Jared and Kevin and John jump ship and head to Sherman or Denison?
Yeah, I hope not. I hope they stay here with us. Current conditions tonight, 73 degrees. Fair south winds from 6 to 10 miles an hour. And, of course, this is an east-west field at Frisco's Memorial Stadium. Again, it's Frisco and McKinney North. We still got a ways here because the parents are still on the field. They're apparently going to recognize everyone at Memorial Stadium in Frisco tonight.
Except us.
We'll be right back on 97.5 KLAK. Welcome back to Memorial Stadium in Frisco as they're still introducing all of the players tonight. And on the field right now, Gavin Gray, the quarterback for this evening, being recognized. And Gray on the year is 68 out of 131, 9 interceptions, 739 yards through the air, and 4 touchdowns. He has run another 2 on the ground for 56 carries and 120 yards for Gavin Gray, the quarterback tonight for Frisco. He will be flanked by the running back Joshua Hill. Hill has nearly 1,000 yards, 857 to be exact, 5 touchdowns on the season. None of these are overwhelming stats for Frisco, and that's what you get from an 0-8 team.
Yeah.
Ryan Leonard, the wideout, on the left side, 21 catches, 277 yards, and 3 touchdowns receiving. Now, the big man coming back, and we've heard his name for several years now, Alphonse Coleman, 6'4", 180-pound senior. And he has 27 receptions for 388 yards and 3 touchdowns on the year. Up front for Frisco, Connor Lambring, Javaria Wallace, Chris Kearney, Scott Kilburn, Taylor Lasecki, and the tight end Andy Cunningham. We'll also see Mickey Maxey quite a bit at tight end or a slot receiver, 19 catches, 177 yards on the year. The defense for Frisco, the Raccoons up front, sophomores abound. Mark Sartain, Cord Airy, the nose guard, and the left defensive end, Christoph Clavert. It's a 4-3 defense, much like you see just about anywhere these days against the spread. The outside linebackers, Jose Lopez. Actually, that's not Jose Lopez. That is Carlos Harris, the outside linebacker. Austin Allen, the left side outside linebacker. The middle backers, Zach Means and Taylor Kraft. The cornerbacks tonight, Desi Beltran and Brandon Young. The safeties, James Perry and John McKinney. And we'll give you the McKinney North starters later on once we get into this football game. Brandon, the McKinney North Bulldogs tonight in their all-white uniforms with the, of course, the orange helmets, which they always have, but the white pants, white jerseys, dark blue numerals outlined in orange. While the Frisco Raccoons wear their royal blue pants, royal blue shirts, white numerals. And they don't have their helmets on yet, but normally Frisco will wear blue hats as well.
Yep. Yeah, and Monty, I was just kind of reflecting a little bit and how different a couple of years could be. You remember 2 years ago we were going too deep into the well, technically it was 3 years ago, but still, North was going into the playoffs. They had the unfortunate draw of Highland Park early.
05 and 06.
Yeah, and they beat Hillcrest in 05. So that year they went too deep, but
and probably should have beaten Highland Park
don't
in
get
06
me started.
if it wasn't for Ryan O'Dwyer's catch off the head of somebody.
Get me started. But anyway, we all know my opinion of Highland Park, so I'm not going to bore you guys. Is the crowd mic on? I'm sorry, it just feels so quiet. Okay, I'll continue. I'm sorry, I just get distracted. But anyway, it's just such a different area where the teams are. You look at McKinney North, Eric Herbal, Chase Barrett, those were guys who got it, and they're not necessarily bad at that positions anymore. The real difference is they don't have the depth that they used to have. Especially along the lines where those can be tiring positions and one guy goes down, you've got another one to take his place. And again, that kind of reflects what Frisco's going through. So we got two teams really in similar positions.
You did have a lot of depth at McKinney North those years. Ayton Williams, talking about guys like that, and Blake Mooney, David Douglas, and there was a lot of depth. And Fruit Cole was coming off the bench to spell Chase Barrett. Well, those days are gone. You do have Josh Matthews, the tailback, and he is good. 1,278 yards on the season for Josh Matthews, the tailback for McKinney North. And he's spelled at times by Deontay Moore, the sophomore, who is also pretty good. Deontay Moore been playing the past couple of weeks, 156 yards on 37 carries and a touchdown. But Matthews is your horse, and it's a reason he has 16 touchdowns, because he's your horse.
Exactly. And Kevin, well, he's got a stat for everything. You know, we just need to talk long enough, he'll find a stat for it. 33 seniors in 2006 for the North Bulldogs. That tells you the kind of depth they have. And I can guarantee you right now, both teams on the field right now would love to have 33 seniors.
Absolutely.
There's just something about depth, about having that many quality varsity football players.
I think a key for tonight's football game for McKinney North is establishing the first quarter. And what I mean by that is don't get beat in the first quarter, because the past 2 weeks McKinney North has given up 51 points in the first quarter. And, of course, last week 30, and 2 weeks ago 21 in the first quarter. Of course, those were Sherman and Denison. You can understand that a little bit, but you don't want to set yourself up for a long night. And McKinney North, they had long nights the past 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah, you bet. And it's quite easy to say, oh, good, now we've got Frisco, when you just come off Sherman and Denison. But, again, the same principle applies. If Frisco gets 2 quick touchdowns in the first half quarter, it's going to be the same thing.
Lots of people say Frisco maybe has mailed it in. The last 2 weeks, they lost 61-0 to Denison, and then last week 55-0 to Frisco Wakeland. And you would think that's a little unacceptable for your program. You can understand a 61-0 defeat by Denison. As how hard that may be, you can understand it.
Yeah.
But to be beaten by Frisco Wakeland,
near the same score,
55-0.
That's incredible. And again, it goes back to some of those players on Wakeland. If they're not a high school, that's on the other team. So I can't stress enough just how much suburban growth affects these traditional schools.
Let's go over the officials tonight as the captains are making their way out onto the field. The referee, Steve Smith, the umpire, Lee Smith, the head linesman, Tommy, of course, Purple Toes Gilliam, the line judge, Barry Chapman, and the back judge, Justin Ponytail Pierce. As I think he wanted to be called Pony Boy, but actually we're going to call him Ponytail because he has a tattoo of a pony.
Where?
On his tail.
Oh.
So we'll just call him Ponytail. The captains are making their way out on the field, quite a few of them from McKinney North. For Frisco, Cord Airy, along with Josh Hill, the running back. Out there is Alphonse Coleman, the senior, and Gavin Gray. For McKinney North, Tony Brown, Josh Matthews, and Bryson Long, or as that Chris Allen, actually. And we'll see if Jonathan Leidy has anything down on the sideline for us. Not sure if John is actually in with the coin toss.
He's wearing a camouflage hat, so it's making it hard for us to spot him.
Well, right now, Gavin Gray is talking to the official. And no indication yet of what the coin toss is. Again, if you're listening and you think you've got McKinney and Sherman, I'm sorry. If you want to hear that game in its entirety, turn over to KMAD 102.5, our sister station in Sherman, and just know that it's a Sherman broadcast. There's the coin toss, no indication of what it is just yet, and we don't have a crowd mic in. It looks like Frisco's won the toss, and they'll put their backs to the west. Maybe not. McKinney North won the toss, and they'll elect to receive to start this football game, and they'll have their backs to the east, and Frisco will have their backs to the west.
Monty, it looks like Coach Pratt was listening to you about start off the first quarter strong. Why did I say third? But, we've chronicled, and he's changed that up a bunch this year, how he usually likes to kick off and set the tone with his defense, but he's going to try to do the opposite with his offense. And by doing that, that means, in theory, you give their offense less time on the field in the first quarter.
All of the parents have now made their way into the stands, or most of them anyway, and we're just about ready for some football now that a few people are in the stands. We'll take a quick timeout. When we come back, we'll have the national anthem on 97.5 KLAK. Welcome back to Memorial Stadium in Frisco, Texas. It is Monty Walker. I haven't yet to introduce everybody up here tonight. Our color analyst is Brandon Helms. Our statistician is Kevin McPherson. Our sideline guy down on the sideline, Jonathan Leidy. And our spotter, Jared Foyt, the McKinney Lion, the former McKinney Lion, who probably wishes he was at that classic over at Ron Poe Stadium. We're just about ready for the national anthem as the PA announcer is addressing the students as the Frisco Raccoons and the McKinney North Bulldogs both have their hands over their hearts facing the flag. And as soon as we'll start the national anthem, we'll just go ahead and let you listen to it. Again, the officials tonight, Steve Smith, Lee Smith, Tommy Gilliam, Purple Toes Gilliam, Barry Chapman, and the back judge is Justin Ponytail Pierce. And we're just about ready, I believe, for the national anthem. I'm not sure exactly what the PA announcer is talking about here.
Something about coaches, players, trainers.
Well,
I think it's the UIL, hey, everybody be in good sportsmanship. No taunting from this crowd. None of that will be tolerated.
Yeah, they would. You wouldn't want a riot coming from this crowd tonight, that's for sure. I think we're just about ready for the national anthem here.
It's probably one of those moment of silence things we saw last week.
Sorry
now,
about that.
ladies and gentlemen, let's all remove our hats, place our hands on our hearts, and listen.
Monty, if you can hear me, have Brandon wave
As
his
the
arms.
Triple Trio, which is a select women's ensemble from Frisco High School, leads us in our national anthem.
Very soft-spoken national anthem there at Frisco's Memorial Stadium. It's just about kickoff time. We'll take a quick 30-second timeout. Be back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. Well, we're just about ready for the JBS Express kickoff here at Memorial Stadium in Frisco. Doing the kicking for Frisco will be Tony Gibson. Or is that Kyle Fisher? Normally Fisher is the kicker, but backing up, it will be Deontay Hudson's back deep. They don't have a number 5 on their roster, but number 5 apparently is kicking off. What I have is Kyle Fisher. We're going to call him Fisher. He bangs it to about the 23-yard line, and Upman will bring it up near side. Josh Allen to the 30 and slips down and falls down at the 35-yard line. So McKinney North will start off going right to left from their own 35-yard line. Josh McKinney makes the stop for Frisco. Right after this play, we'll give you the starting lineup, the starting offense for McKinney North. But it's first down and 10 for North. Just underway, 11:53 left to go. And we'll see what kind of offense North will display starting out.
Nice little start. Would have been nice for McKinney North to get a little bit more speed on that outside return. That would have been a big gainer. But, again, a nice little start. They blocked it well.
Number 10.
It'll be Brenton Griffin in the gun for McKinney North, starting out in shotgun formation, sends a man in motion, and he's going to give the hand to the man in motion, and that's Josh Allen again, coming near side and steps out of bounds after a 2-yard gain to the 37-yard line. And the kicker, we were mentioning, number 5 would be Brad Hunt, who was the man doing the kickoff on the JBS Express kickoff. It'll be 2nd down and 8 now for McKinney North. From their own 37-yard line. Griffin in the gun, and I believe that's Matthews, Josh Matthews standing next to him. And it's not, it's Deontay Moore. And high snap, Brenton Griffin brings it down, but he's in trouble as soon as he does. It's going to be a loss of 2 back to the 30-yard line. Actually a loss of more than 2, a loss of 7. They'll mark him at the 31. Taylor Kraft, the senior, the linebacker, will make the stop. It was a high snap, and he just had to bring it down, and he tried to hand it off to Deontay Moore and thought better of it and kept it.
Yeah, it was a smart decision.
3rd down and 14 now for McKinney North to open this football game. Deontay Moore again in the backfield. I haven't seen Josh Matthews in quite a while. He does have a little ankle tweak from what we understand. Brenton Griffin in the gun sends Deontay Moore in motion, and Griffin wants to throw, rolling right, now throws backside to Deontay Moore, and right there to sniff it out, a great play, and now they'll rule it incomplete, or do they?
Yeah.
The ball was on the turf. They'll say incomplete pass, as it would have been recovered by Taylor Kraft.
Yeah, it's an awful start to the drive.
And, you know, this drive is ending, but let's just go ahead and give you the McKinney North starting offense.
John Turner, tackle.
Matt Ayers, left guard.
Robert Stevens, center.
Colton Duncan, right guard. Devontae Fields, right tackle.
Alex Loudenslager, tight end.
John Alexander, receiver. Josh Allen, receiver.
Chris Allen, receiver.
Josh Matthews, running back. Brenton Griffin, quarterback.
Jonathan Lee's punt's going to be a high one that bounces at the 46-yard line, and it'll take a couple of rolls. And after 29 yards later, it'll roll dead at the 41-yard line of Frisco. A hang time of 3.66.
It's actually going to be smaller than that because it hit one of the cover guys right around the 45-yard line, and I thought the referees might have missed it, but we've got a solid crew tonight, and they saw it, so they'll make it shorter than 29.
Yeah, they'll mark it just inside the 45-yard line. And now the chains are going to have to move, and they do. It'll be 1st and 10 for Frisco, left to right, with 10:49 left to go in the first, just underway. No score at Memorial Stadium here in Frisco. And I wonder how many points are on the board at Ron Poe right now. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Gavin Gray under center for Frisco. He drops back 3 steps, looks left, and way overthrows his receiver. And they're going to call a penalty flag over on that far side. John Alexander, the ball was way overthrown, but they got their feet tangled up, and both of them went to the ground.
Yeah.
It was Alphonse Coleman, the intended receiver, and the penalty will obviously move the ball up further field for them.
Well, that's good. The referees signaled it was a holding instead of in pass interference, and that's a much more palatable call.
So it'll be 1st down and 1st and 10. They'll move the ball up to the 46-yard line in McKinney North territory now. So the first time either team has got into the other team's side of the field. It'll be 2 receivers to the right side, 1 to the left. Gavin Gray, the quarterback, under center for Frisco. 1 man in the backfield, Josh Hill. And Hill's going to get the carry, right tackle, squirts through, still fighting for yardage, and goes down about the 41-yard line. Gain of 4 or so on 1st down to bring up 2nd down and 6. Let's give you the McKinney North starting defense.
Spencer Rogers, outside linebacker.
Alex Loudenslager, defensive end.
Terrence Hicks, nose guard.
John Beeman, defensive end.
Tony Brown, linebacker.
Conrad Ramquist, inside linebacker.
Banner Ramsey, linebacker.
Keem Jackson, corner.
John Alexander, cornerback.
Jonathan Lee, safety.
Josh Matthews, safety.
Switching sides here, 2 receivers the other side, but whistles will blow, as you can hear before this one gets underway. We haven't had a chance to check down on the sideline with Jonathan Leidy yet, but we will momentarily.
Well, that was about an easy call as you can get for that false start on the offense. The receiver started going before anybody else did. And then I'll tell you, those line judges, they'll be able to pick that one out in a heartbeat.
Second down and 12, 9:53 and rolling in the first. No score at Memorial Stadium. Frisco and McKinney North. Left to right, go the Frisco Raccoons, showing blitz McKinney North. Now they back off, and this is going to be a fake to hand to Hill. And rolling out left is Gavin Gray under pressure, now escapes and has the left side and goes out of bounds near a first down mark at about the 36-yard line. It'll bring up third and very short. I don't think he had enough to get the first, Brandon.
No, he sure didn't, and John Alexander sure made him pay for the yards he got. And anytime a defender barely moves and the ball carrier just goes flying, you know that was a pretty good hit, and Alexander just laid one on Gray.
Well, the clock stopped, so he did go out of bounds.
More like he flew out of bounds.
Two receivers to the left side, one to the right. It's 3rd and 3 for Frisco. Gavin Gray under center, power to the right, and Gray wants to throw. Left side screen pass. Alphonse Coleman makes the catch at the 35, coming near side 30, and escapes two more defenders to the 25-20, trying to find the near corner, cuts it up to the 12-yard lines and out of bounds, pushed out by two McKinney North Bulldogs, 26 yards on the pass and catch. Tony Brown will push him out at the 12.
How does that happen? I mean, screen passes are generally easy to read at this day and age because they're so common, and somehow you go from the far side to the near side and pick up a quarter of the football field.
9:22 left to go in the first. No score, but Frisco knocking on the door. They're 0-8. They haven't scored in 3 weeks. Gavin Gray goes under center. Two receiver to the left. Josh Hill in the backfield. Power side to the right. Gavin Gray barking. Hands off. Left tackle. Big hole. Gets a block from Alphonse Coleman to the outside, stumbling and down at the 5-yard line. A good gain of 7 or so. On first down, Stephon Hurd will make the stop for McKinney North.
And they're blocking right now with the Raccoons' offensive line, and even their periphery receivers are just manhandling the Bulldog defense. I mean, they're getting holes like crazy.
By the way, we will be getting updates on the McKinney-Sherman game via text message through True Image Productions, who's doing the game over there tonight. So thanks to Chris and some of those guys over there, and Josh, who will be helping out in that area. Two receivers to the right side, and this is going to be Gavin Gray handing off to Josh Hill to the left side, and he's in for the touchdown. So McKinney North has had a problem on first quarters the past 2 weeks, giving up 51 points. Now make it 57 points in the last 3 weeks as Frisco goes on top there. 6-0 awaiting the PAT.
And I'll tell you, Monty, it's concerning. That drive looked too easy. Yeah, I mean, they did get a penalty to help them out as the extra point's up and good, but that was just too easy.
7-0. Frisco in the lead at Memorial Stadium. Back in a moment. 97.5 KLAK.
On 97.5 KLAK.
Well, I know a 2-year-old that's probably driving around trick-or-treating right now in a Spider-Man outfit. A little shout out to my son in Howe, Texas right now. As he says, Spy-E. That's what he is right now. Here's the kickoff. The JBS Express kickoff is going to be taken at the 25-yard line. That's Wink Alexander to the right side. Lots of running room to the 40, up to the 50, up to the 40 and out of bounds at about the 38-yard line. And a nice return of 27 yards by Wink Alexander, otherwise known as John, 5'10", 150-pound junior, also a wideout.
Yeah, and that was exactly what the Bulldogs needed. I mean, that right now, that Raccoon drive was just too easy. They went 3 and out on their first possession, and that gives you a little spark to work with. Not only that, but it puts you in a great field position to start. 1st
and 10 for McKinney North. With, as you said, great field position, right to left here. 8:28 left to go in the first. 7-0. We'll go over the drive in just a moment after this play. It's 1st and 10, and Griffin's going to send a man in motion, his running back, and that's Deontay Moore. He throws a swing pass out to Deontay Hudson, who makes the catch. He gets it by the defender to the 25 and out of bounds at the 23-yard line. A first down for McKinney North. 16 yards on that pass and catch. Flag on the play. We'll check that in a moment after the Mike's Economy scoring drive recap. 5 plays, 55 yards for Frisco. 2 minutes and 12 seconds off the clock. And after the 6-yard touchdown on the ground over left tackle by Josh Hill, Frisco leads 7-0 here with 8:21 left to go in the first quarter at Memorial Stadium in Frisco. Again, if you're looking for the McKinney-Sherman game, it's on 102.5 Mad Rock on our sister station. Jay Lindley, Ed Meacham, and Rob Johnson over there. 1st and 10 here for McKinney North. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left is Wink Alexander. I believe that may be Phillips, actually. It is Jamarius Phillips. As Deontay Moore will now go to the right side, and he'll get the hand right up the middle of a big hole. But he's hit immediately by the linebacker, Taylor Kraft. And Kraft put him on his back in a hurry. For a moment, there was a wide open lane, but Kraft cut it off in a hurry.
I'll tell you, it was wide open for the work of Colton Duncan, the right guard. I didn't get to see who he sandwiched. He was a pulling guard in that situation, running the trap play, and whatever raccoon he sandwiched. I mean, that was a bad matchup.
2nd down and 8. Chris Allen split out wide right. Deontay Hudson in the slot near side as the North Bulldogs are going right to left, and it's Jamarius Phillips split out wide left. Brenton Griffin, shotgun, wants to throw right side. Chris Allen, does he make the catch? Yes, at the 18. Squirting free. He has the first down at about the 12-yard line. He was fighting, and he did get just enough for the first. Then Desi Beltran on the stop, the cornerback over there, putting the lick on Chris Allen, but it's an 8-yard gain and a first down.
This drive so far is a lot more encouraging than what we saw the first 3 now. I mean, those 3 plays, none of them were really anything you'd like to be happy with, and these has been much more consistent in gaining yards.
1st down and 10 for McKinney North. Clock rolling at 7:20 in the first. 7-0 Frisco in the lead. And a score from Ron Poe. McKinney up 7-0 over Sherman. Here's a handoff of the middle to Deontay Moore, and he squirts free and threw for 9 yards to about the 3-yard line. We do have the score, as we mentioned, McKinney 7, Sherman nothing early on at Ron Poe Stadium.
That's an encouraging sign. You know, McKinney still has the ability to win the district, you know. Just throwing that out there while we focus on this one.
Not sure who got the ball first in that football game, but there's 7:18 left to go in the first in that game.
Probably Sherman then.
Yeah.
Unless both of them already had it once.
Yeah, it doesn't take McKinney long, does it? 2nd down and 2 for McKinney North. It's going to be a handoff up the middle. Deontay Moore, 4 yards, and it's touchdown.
Guys, I don't know if y'all noticed there, but they had 5 men off the line of scrimmage there with 2 running backs, the quarterback, the tight end, and actually I take it back, 6 because they had 2 wide receivers along with the quarterback.
Thanks, John.
6:28 left to go in the first, and McKinney North has just scored. It'll be Spencer Rogers on for the extra point for McKinney North. And a very long snap, and Rogers boots it through. Tie ball game at Memorial, 7-7. 6:28 left to go in the first. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. Yeah, spooky 7-7 here at Memorial Stadium in Frisco as we get ready for the JBS Express kickoff. It's spooky at Ron Poe Stadium too. 7-7 there as well as Sherman just scores. Here's Spencer Rogers on the kickoff. It's going to be a low line drive kick taken at the 18-yard line, and the returner will make his way past the 30 to the 31-yard line. That was the JBS Express kickoff. The Mike's Economy Transmission scoring drive recap, 5 plays, 38 yards for McKinney North. It took 1:09 off the clock, and it ended on a 4-yard touchdown run by Deontay Moore. And that ties our game 7-7. As we mentioned, at Ron Poe Stadium, McKinney and Sherman tied at 7. That's the big game of the week up at Ron Poe. Those 2 teams can put 50 on the board anytime they want.
You mean it's not Centennial Denison?
No, I don't think it is tonight. Although that one probably could be a good one as well. 1st down and 10 for Frisco, left to right from their own 31-yard line. Gavin Gray is going to hand off. Josh Hill, left tackle, in trouble, and met at the line of scrimmage. A great play up front by the McKinney North Bulldogs. It's going to be Brandon Ramsey on the stop along with some others. I know I saw Emilio Diaz, the linebacker, there as well.
Best defensive play we've seen.
Hey, Monty, I'd like to point something out here. Entering tonight's game, the McKinney North Bulldogs have only given up more points than they have this season. We'll get back to this play.
Let's go, baby.
2nd down and 10, 5:55 left to go in the first quarter, 7-7. And Gavin Gray is going to go under center. 3 receivers right, handoff. Josh Hill again coming near side. He's got some speed. 30. Look out to the 35 and drug down from the collar. And they will throw a flag at the end of that play. Stephon Hurd is the guy that's going to be responsible for that horse collar tackle.
But Monty, entering this game, the McKinney North Bulldogs were only 11 points behind their worst statistics as far as defense all year. And with that touchdown, that only leaves them 4 points to spare with for the rest of tonight's game, along with next week. So a betting man could probably guess that they're probably going to break that record and become points-wise in a season being the worst. But we're going to send it back up.
All right, they're going to mark off the 15-yard penalty against McKinney North. That'll take the ball into McKinney North territory at the 49-yard line. And they'll obviously move the sticks there for Frisco. Talking about records, if you want to talk about records.
Yeah, I'm sure John opened a can of worms with you there.
Man, goodness. McKinney North has given up 334 points so far this season, 335, the highest total. I think that's what he talked about. Here's Josh Hill running around the left side, lots of room. And he broke free to the 30, inside the 30 to about the 29-yard line. And my statistician in my ear, Kevin McPherson, says they were holding all over the place, and this one's coming back.
Well, if you're looking at Jared and I, we were both making the motions of a holding too. And I'll tell you, the telltale sign of holding is if you have the ball carrier here, the defender, and then a blocker, with the defender being in between the two, and the defender is not going anywhere. That's generally a sign that somebody's holding somewhere. And then that happened on 2 or 3 occasions on that play. About as easy a call as you can get.
There's 5:25 on the clock left in the first quarter, and when it was moving pretty good for a moment, now the clock has stopped quite a bit here in the past couple of minutes.
Penalties will do that.
7-7 in this football game. In the first quarter, it's Frisco and McKinney North, and Frisco has it at their own 49-yard line, moving left to right as Gavin Gray and company break the huddle. They'll send 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. It'll be 1st and 12 after the holding call. Spot foul. Gray drops back 2 steps, setting up the screen to Coleman, in and out of his hands and incomplete. It'll be 2nd down and 12 for Frisco with 5:12 left to go in the first.
John Alexander might have had a chance for an interception, but I'm not going to tell him don't do it. He was going in for a hit, and if he catches that, then that's he being the receiver. If he catches that, then it's a great play.
Talking about the McKinney Lions and their touchdown, 370 points now gives the Lions 3rd stake to overall in school history for the Lions. It moves them past the 2000 team, which had 367 points, but that was through 11 games. These McKinney Lions have played 8. Unbelievable. Unbelievable offensive numbers in 9-4-8. 2nd down and 12. Gavin Gray back under center. And 2 tight ends set. 1 man in the backfield. He fakes the hand to him. Throwing deep down the right side for Alphonse Coleman, and in and out of his hands. A nice play over there by Wink Alexander, but Coleman still had a chance to bring that one in, and he just couldn't do it.
Yeah, and Alexander so far, we've called his name 4 or 5 times tonight. We're going to have an illegal man downfield for the Raccoons, and I have a feeling that on 3rd down that one will be declined. But Monty, he's making an early play for our McKinney Gym Equipment star of the game. You know, I mean, if you're barely halfway through the first quarter on defense and you've got your name called 4 times for stuff that's not tackles and they're good name callings, I mean, like I say, he's playing a whale of a first start. Oh, really?
They did take the play, is what Kevin McPherson tells us.
Oh, 2nd. I'm sorry. I thought it was 3rd. Yeah, that I agree with. Yeah, I thought it was 3rd down, but apparently it was only 2nd down on last play.
They'll mark it at the 44-yard line, still in Frisco territory. They'll mark it back. It'll be 2nd down and 18 for Frisco. And there's 5:05 left to go in the first, and this game has come to an absolute halt. 7-7. Gavin Gray, right side handoff. Joshua Hill cutting back to the inside. 50, look out. 45, drug down from behind by Jonathan Lee. And he'll be well shy of a first down, be marked inside McKinney North territory at the 45-yard line. 4:58 and rolling. Actually, no, they stopped the clock again as he went out of bounds after the 11-yard run.
Yeah, we're having some fun times down on the field and with some of the linemen. John Beeman getting it on with Kevin Scheibem. And after the play, they kind of hit the ground together. There was some words exchanged. The head official walked up and said, "Hey, we all good?" And they kind of grudgingly said, "Yeah."
3rd and 6 for Frisco, left to right from the McKinney North 45-yard line. Gray under center, and he's going to hand off to the left tackle, and that's a new ball carrier into the game, and that would be Austin Allen. There's a flag down as he didn't have enough for the first down, just a couple of yards short, but we'll have to check the flag and see what this one is.
How many is that, Kevin, in flags already? 6 flags. Wow. We're averaging almost a flag a minute, Monty.
6 flags. That'd be a nice place to be right now.
I bet they're having some Halloween in the parks extravaganza.
4:50 here in the first quarter, 7-7. McKinney North and Frisco. And now they'll move the ball back to the 45-yard line. So we're seesawing back and forth across midfield. And it's penalties. It's actually Frisco moves across midfield, then they get a penalty, and they come back. 4th penalty for 30 yards so far in the first 8 minutes of the game. 7 minutes of the game. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Gray under center wants to throw. Straight drop back. Looking over to the left side, down the field, bumping and grinding, and it's incomplete. It'll be Wink Alexander again, and it's Alphonse Coleman, the intended receiver, and it falls incomplete. Again, Gavin Gray has thrown the ball fairly successful this year, but 68 out of 131 coming in.
Guys, we're going to look for the senior Vince Stenko to take over at quarterback on this next possession.
Vince Stenko coming in at quarterback for McKinney North is what Jonathan Leidy tells us. Here's the punt. It's going to be a high, wobbly kick that'll bounce at about the 27-yard line, take a north roll, flag down. It'll roll inside the 20 to about the 19-yard line. It's a 36-yard punt. The hang time 3.75. It was a very high kick. And we'll see what McKinney North elects to do or Frisco elects to do depending on what the penalty is here.
Yeah, unless it's rough in the punter, and I don't think it is in this situation. It's an illegal shift on the Raccoons, definitely. You'll want to decline this one, I think, and just get your offense out on the field.
Well, if Jonathan Leidy is correct, we'll see Vince Stenko make his first appearance into this game with 4:11 left to go in the first.
So Jared shows me a text message from his mom because she's over at the MHS game, and she goes, "MHS just fumbled. Crap."
Uh-oh.
Just literally put that on their text message.
And you let the world know what she said, right? They will decline the penalty.
Well, I'm just happy that somewhere here in this area that there's just a fan base that's active.
There's excitement somewhere.
Exactly. Because, I mean, listen to this.
Yeah. For the excitement factor, it's 14 miles away at Ron Post Stadium. It's definitely not at Memorial Stadium in Frisco tonight. 1 man in the backfield along with the quarterback Vince Stenko, and he's going to get the hand, and that's going to be Deontay Moore up the middle. He's got some room. Look out. He barrels his way to the 50 inside Frisco territory to the 46-yard line. 31 yards on the run for Deontay Moore, his longest run of the year. Brandon Young makes the stop. The cornerback makes the stop for Frisco.
Fantastic run, and that was also fantastic blocking. This offensive line, aside from that first possession, they've done a really good job in blocking this Raccoon defense.
And we're showing Sherman 14 and McKinney 7 now. Stenko trying to draw him off sides, may have. Deontay Moore, another handoff, and to the right side, flag down. They'll get somebody for jumping off sides. It may even be defensive.
It likely will. Usually the offense moves. That's just dead ball foul. The question the referees are going to have is deciding who would have jumped off sides, because Stenko must have come with some sort of hard count, because 2-3 of those Raccoons moved on that front line.
Wayman James, an 11-yard touchdown reception for Sherman. Gives Sherman the lead over McKinney. 14-7 with 55 seconds left to go in the first. Here, 3:44 left to go in the first. It's tied up 7 with McKinney North and Frisco. 5 penalties in the first quarter. We're on a pace for 20.
That's for one team, the Raccoons. And North's not doing well in the penalty category either.
1st and 5 here for McKinney North. And this will be tossed right side to Deontay Moore, and he'll nearly have enough for the first down. He'll have 4 yards to the 36-yard line, and Cord Ari will make the stop for Frisco.
Gain 4 on the play, bring up 7 down and 1. Ball at the 36-yard line.
3:05 left to go in the first. 7-7. McKinney North and Frisco. Second down and 1 here as Stenko will move back over. They'll fake the hand to Moore, and they'll throw out to the right side, and it's incomplete to Josh Allen. Stenko couldn't hit his screen pass on the near side, and it'll be 4th and 1. 3rd and 1, actually.
How about we go back to the run? We know that works. You know, and the way the offensive line's blocking, you have the advantage there.
So it'll be 3rd and 1 for McKinney North, right to left from the Frisco 36-yard line. Shotgun formation for Stenko. Moves Moore over to his left. 2 receivers to the left. Handoff Deontay Moore up the middle. First down and more to about the 31. Maybe that's what his new nickname is. Deontay first down and more.
That works for me.
Right here's where we established Choo Choo Helt last week. Maybe we can come up with another one.
Yeah, he's got to do it consistently. We just don't hand out nicknames just without earning them.
54 yards on 7 carries for a first down and more.
All right. Wait till we see a pattern. At least wait till the second quarter.
Here's a handoff to Deontay Moore near side. Has a 30-25, cuts a 20, knocks a man down at the 15, still going, and down at the 13-yard line. Another first down and more. 18 yards for Deontay and Moore.
You know, I keep hoping the more that I say no to that, the more he'll keep doing it.
We have a score, Greenville 7 and Pierce 7. That one's in the first.
That's important because if Pierce wins, they're in the playoffs out of that district, and they'll be in the D1 category, which is where McKinney would play.
First down and 10 from McKinney North, right to left, 2:10, 2:09, 2:07 in the first. Aaron Matthews in motion from left to right. 2 receivers, right handoff. Deontay Moore right up the middle, and he'll squirt free for about 4 yards inside the 10 to the 8-yard line. 1:56 and rolling in the first. Tie ball game at Memorial Stadium in Frisco, McKinney North and Frisco.
That score brought up a point, Monty. If McKinney beats Sherman, they'll be the #1 D1 school in the district. If Sherman beats McKinney, then Sherman will be the #1 D school in the district.
Still a game to play next week, Sherman and Denison.
Right, but that's the matchup that happens with McKinney wins. They're guaranteed because they'll have the tiebreaker. Well, I guess they could lose. All right, never mind. Scratch what I just said. All of it.
Here's a handoff to Deontay Moore, right guard, and he'll twist his way down for another yard to about the 7-yard line. And Austin Allen, the outside linebacker, will make the stop for Frisco. It'll be 3rd down and 6 for McKinney North.
And further think about it, if Sherman wins, they're guaranteed to be the #1 D1 school. If McKinney wins, they'll have to win next week to be the #1 D1 school because Sherman's undefeated. So no matter what happens, McKinney and Sherman would have at least one loss, and Sherman would have won.
I was told there would be no math.
Yeah, that's why I'm struggling too.
Gets the toss to the right side. Thought he dropped it for a moment, but he didn't. And he squirts free. It is touchdown time in Texas. 7 yards on the play. And the touchdown run for Deontay Moore, his second of the evening.
Would that be a first down and more?
Yeah, it would.
I mean, definitely more.
It has been all Deontay Moore tonight.
And you got to like what you see. It kind of raises the question if Matthews is out. You know, I mean, obviously, Deontay Moore's in capable hands. And I'll tell you, this North offense has never had a problem turning out running backs.
There's Spencer Rogers on for the extra point, and it is a low line drive kick that's good. 14-7, McKinney North takes the lead at Memorial Stadium in Frisco over Frisco. 44 seconds left to go in the first. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK.
LAK.
Mike's Economy transmission scoring drive recap. 8 plays, 76 yards. Took 3 minutes and 27 seconds off the clock. And after the 7-yard touchdown by Deontay, first down and more, brings our score 14-7. McKinney North in the lead with 44 seconds left to go in the first over Frisco. as we just about are ready for the JBS Express kickoff. And Spencer Rogers just about ready to boot this one away. He does. It's a low line drive kick. It's going to be taken at about the 11-yard line. Is that Alphonse Coleman? And it is. He passes the 30. He's got some speed, 35. And Jonathan Lee will drag him down at the 41. A 31-yard return. Also, the kicker, Spencer Rogers, brought him down.
Well, and there's one guy who's been a McKinney killer in the past. It's that one right there, Alphonse Coleman. And with that guy on your team, you wonder how they were shut out for 2 weeks in a row.
Sherman, 14. McKinney, 14. 11-18 in the second quarter.
Does that mean Frisco's about to score because McKinney scored first?
You know, this is like a ping pong match like we had at McKinney and Denison a few weeks ago. It's what it's going to be.
You know, we
tonight.
may be glad we're not there because we can probably catch the end of the game after we're leaving here.
My highlights would be on fire.
That's why your mini disc might be struggling.
First down and 10, handoff Josh Hill, left side 40. He's got the 45, being spun down from behind. And will he get out of bounds? Malik Bowen makes a stop. Did he get out of bounds? He gets out of bounds again. They stop the clock. You know, I guess that's the bad thing about this Frisco team is they're so vertical.
Hey guys, I know y'all noticed that Spencer Roger, number 37, is doing the kicking for McKinney North tonight, and this is actually the second week of doing this. As Bryson Long was injured in the crosstown showdown with MHS, so he's going to finish the year off as kicker. Back up, y'all.
What were you saying?
Thanks a lot. As this offense for Frisco just continually stops the clock after every play because they run out of bounds.
Yeah, they're pretty quick.
Here is Gavin Gray throwing the ball down the field looking for Coleman, who gets tangled up again with Jonathan Lee. This time no flag, and it'll be incomplete.
And actually that was John Alexander, and he's doing a bang-up job in coverage. And Monty, I look at this offense. You look, they've got Joshua Hill, who's as quick as could be. They've got Alphonse Coleman out there, and Gavin Gray, who doesn't have awful numbers. And you just wonder how they're not scoring point. I mean, 2 weeks in a row being shut out by an average defense. I mean, this offense looks a lot better than that to me.
Also another score, Denison over Centennial, 7-0. That one in the second. 3rd and 4 here. Josh Hill. They'll fake the hand to him, and Gavin Gray throws down the middle, and wide open is the receiver. Ryan Leonard makes the catch, and he's gone. 53 yards. He was wide open across the seam. He brings it in and takes it in.
Boy, that defense bit. That ultimately that comes down to the safety. Just bit on that play fake.
Wow, that was wide open. Ryan Leonard, 277 yards receiving and 3 touchdowns coming in. You can add to that. It's going to be a delay of game against Frisco. A little celebration at the end of that one, I believe. They'll tack it onto this extra point. You don't see kids that wide open very often.
And again, it goes back down to the safety, and I think there's probably some linebackers that fall too bit on that too. In fact, you could probably say all 11 guys bit out there, maybe 9, but my gosh, that was just an excellent run play by the Raccoon. Again, how are they shut out for 2 weeks in a row?
A high snap, the kicker will boot it no good. You can blame that one on the center.
Yep.
It was wide left, so it's 14-13. McKinney North in the lead over Frisco at Memorial Stadium. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK.
LAK.
Well, now McKinney North officially 2008 is the worst defense in McKinney North history after giving up that touchdown. Brings it to 347. That's how many points they've given up. The school record was 345 initially. Here's an onside kick by Frisco. It's going to be recovered by Chris Allen.
Heads up
at the
play.
McKinney North 47-yard line. A great headsy play by Chris Allen. There's 15 seconds left to go in the first. And we'll give you the Mike's Economy scoring drive recap. That was the JBS Express, and that was it Express kickoff. It was the Mike's Economy transmission scoring drive recap. 3 plays, 59 yards. Took only 29 seconds off the clock. It was a 53-yard touchdown from Gavin Gray to Ryan Leonard. The missed extra point makes it 14-13. McKinney North still in the lead.
Yeah, luckily Allen saw that because no one else was even close. They were all backing up for that kickoff.
Ron Poe Stadium, 21-14, Sherman in the lead now. First and 10 for McKinney North. Brenton Griffin into the game at quarterback, and he's going to be sacked all the way back to the 37-yard line. A great play by Austin Allen for Frisco. Man, I'm telling you, that's going to be the end of the first quarter, too. 14-13, McKinney North leading Frisco at Memorial Stadium. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. 14-13 here at Memorial Stadium, where McKinney North leading Frisco. We're now into the second quarter, flipping them around, and McKinney North goes left to right. Second down and 16 from their own 41-yard line. Brenton Griffin in the gun, rolls out right, hands off to Moore, coming back to the far side. Tries to escape one defender and does, to the 50, look out, 40, cuts it back inside to the 35 and down at the 31-yard line. Another great run by Deontay and Moore. The Taylor Kraft will bring him down, the linebacker, 28 yards.
Up the field there. He was 30 yards up the field blocking for Deontay Moore.
I don't know who it was, but thanks, John. And he was right. There was somebody who was blocking 30 yards down the field.
First down and 10, left to right. Deontay Moore and company. Two receivers to the near side, one to the far. Brenton Griffin throws out to the far side, and that's Allen who makes the catch, and he'll be down at the 21-yard line, shy of a first down. No, that's Wink Alexander actually on the catch. It'll be shy of the first down by about a yard to the 21-yard line.
8-yard gain on the play, bring up second down and 2.
I think we can christen that nickname now. Looks good so far.
So far, we are talking about an 0-8 team, but hey, first down and more sounds pretty good. Second down and 1. Here's Deontay Moore to the 15, to the 10, to the 5. It is touchdown time in Texas. 22 yards for Deontay. First down and more.
Can we christen it now, Monty? 22 yards. He only needed 2 for the first down. I like to pride myself on coming up with the nicknames, but you look like you've got a pretty good one there.
Third touchdown of the night for Deontay Moore. And Spencer Rogers will come on for the extra point. Brenton Griffin will be the holder at the 10-yard line. Snap by Garrett Beasley is good. The kick is going to be wide left and no good. So 20-13, we're back to a 7-point game. 10:54 left to go in the second. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. Welcome back to Memorial Stadium in Frisco. 10:54 left to go in the second. McKinney North on top, 20-13. The Mike's Economy Transmission scoring drive recap. 4 plays, 52 yards for McKinney North. Took a minute 21 off the clock. And after the 22-yard run by Deontay Moore and the missed extra point, it's 20-13, North in the lead. The JBS Express kickoff by Spencer Rogers is in the air, taken at the 16-yard line. And I think that's once again Alphonse Coleman who makes his way up and busted at the 40-yard line. It's not Coleman. It is going to be on the return, Christoph Calvert.
Well, and he took a licking, but I tell you, he also delivered one too.
Well, we've got 41 points scored at Ron Poe Stadium, and there's 8:42 left to go in the second. 21-20, Sherman in the lead at Ron Poe Stadium. Unbelievable.
You actually better be glad you're not there doing that one, because your mini disc would blow up. You wouldn't be able to keep track of all the scores.
Yeah, I know it. Traditional pro offense for Frisco, and Gavin Gray's going to roll out near side, throwing across the middle, and it's almost intercepted twice. Once by Spencer Rogers and then by Tony Brown. Neither one could hang on to it. It fell to the turf, and it'll be second down and 10.
Yeah, if Spencer Rogers didn't touch that one, Emilio Diaz would have just been waiting for that interception.
So what I want to know now, since it's 21-20, did C.J. Gonzalez miss an extra point? What happened there?
I don't know, Monty. I'm here in Frisco. It was a blocked PAT, according to
that one could have huge implications in that football game.
No, it's way too early. There's going to be a lot more points coming.
Two receivers near side. Gavin Gray back, wanting to throw. Across the middle, wide open again. Caught at the 30, up to the 25. And that's going to be Austin Zaid. 44 yards down to the 12-yard line. Jonathan Lee makes a stop for McKinney North on the far side. And now Frisco's in business again with 10:28 left to go in the first, trailing McKinney North 20-13.
Now, again, I understand McKinney North's not top half of the district or anything like that, but how on earth does this Raccoon offense get shut out 2 weeks in a row? I mean, Sherman and Denison don't have great defenses either, but somehow they shut this team out, and they look like they can move. I mean, they're knocking on their third touchdown of the game.
Two receivers near side for Frisco. Handoff left side. That's Josh Hill. Scraping down the side. Can't escape the tackle of Stephon Hurd at the 14-yard line. It'll actually lose 2 yards on the carry. It'll be second down and 12 as we're now underneath 10 minutes in the second quarter.
The answer may be in the matchups, and I think that right now, aside from John Alexander's play, this secondary is pretty vulnerable because they run a zone, and right now Frisco's picking apart that zone at the seams, which is exactly how you beat a zone. And so they're passing a lot more, and that's where a lot of their big plays have come in.
Second down and 12, 9:36 on the second quarter clock. Two receivers to the right for Frisco, who's moving right to left. And Joshua Hill up the middle, spinning out of a tackle, and can't escape 2 or 3 other McKinney North Bulldogs as they'll push him back, but he gains forward progress to the 11-yard line, which is a gain of about 1.
Again, good job by that defense pursuing.
Yeah, Emilio Diaz and Frank King. King was trying to hang on for dear life, and Emilio Diaz finished him off. Now every time I hear that train go by here, I'm going to think of choo-choo helt.
I'm going to think of a touchdown because it's what it sounds like. No, not yet. They haven't scored. Oh, just a train. Okay.
Two receivers to the right, third down and 9. And they're going to fake the hand to Josh Hill. Gavin Gray rolling out right in the end zone and incomplete, in through the hands of Coleman. And Alphonse Coleman cannot bring that one in. It was, he's had about 2 or 3 of those in his fingertips tonight, and he just can't bring it in.
Yeah, again, it was being rushed by Brandon Ramsey, and Brandon probably would have had a sack there, but both, and I feel vindicated because Kevin saw it, and Kevin saw it, then you know it's true because he's a stat guy, but saw that Brandon was being held, so, I mean, he was able to make an impact on the play by having an errant pass, but that could have been disaster for the Bulldogs, and they wouldn't have even got the call for it.
They're going to go for it here on 4th and 9. Now they're going to take a timeout and talk about it. We will too. 8:44 left to go in the second. McKinney North leading 20-13, but Frisco knocking on the door. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. Welcome back to Memorial Stadium in Frisco, where McKinney North leads 20-13 over the Frisco Raccoons. The latest update we had from Ron Poe Stadium, the McKinney Lions trailing the Sherman Bearcats 21-20 with about 8 minutes left to go in the second.
Can I take my pregame prediction away?
Hey, but let me tell you, that latest update we got was about 4 or 5 minutes ago, so I'm sure they've scored 2 or 3 more touchdowns since then.
That might be conservative. Yeah, because I thought, well, maybe today's the game that they slow each other down and went relatively conservative. Can I take it back?
4th and 9. Nope, no takebacks. Frisco going for it. 4th and 9. 8:44 left to go before half. Rolling out right, Gavin Gray under pressure, being chased down. Now eludes the pressure, rolls out left side. Going to run for it to the 5 and knocked out of bounds at about the 3-yard line. It's going to be very close. And Kevin McPherson, the statistician, says no, but now he gets a left-footed spot. A left-footed spot by the line judge.
I'm going to say the Bulldogs had their chance to stop them. And if they didn't, they deserved to give up the first. I mean, there was 3-4 white shirts there at any point that could have made that tackle.
Barry Chapman, the line judge, chose to spot that ball right on the 2-yard line. And now Kevin McPherson is signaling first down. And they're still pulling out the chain.
Guys, from our perspective, this is just about the nose of the ball is going to be a first down. We'll see.
And they're pulling the chains here. And it is, in fact, a first down for Frisco. So 4th and 9. Gavin Gray on the quarterback scramble. Actually, it wasn't initially a scramble. He was forced out of the pocket and forced to run, and he just gets enough for the first down.
I got the second best thing to the radio. Got Jared getting text messages from the stadium. Sherman just fumbled, Monty, so McKinney catching a break.
You know what? That could have an effect on the scoreboard. I was thinking 55-51 McKinney in this football game, but if they're going to be turning the ball over like this, it may be 45-41.
Right. And real quick, we're going to give love to the other McKinney school, although in this situation it's not. Jesuit leads 7-0 over Boyd in the second.
Gavin Gray under center. First and goal from the 2. Josh Hill up the middle, and he squirts free for the touchdown. The extra point will tie this football game as we're back on track 20-19 with 8:29 left to go in the second.
Again, it goes back to that fourth down. I mean, that you had 4 opportunities to stop Gray. 4. And it's like I said, I mean, you don't ever want to get to the point where you have the opportunity to stop him to depend on a referee's spot because, you know, I mean, they're playing it by ear and that's what they think.
Extra point is good. We're all tied up at 28-24 left to go in the second. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. Welcome back to Memorial Stadium in Frisco. Monty Walker along with the rest of the gang here. It's 20-20. Frisco and McKinney North. 8:29 left to go in the second. And we have a Mike's Economy's transmission scoring drive recap. 7 plays, 57 yards for Frisco. Took 2 minutes and 30 seconds off the clock. Josh Hill scored his second touchdown of the night, this one from 2 yards out. And now we have a tie ball game, 20-20. 8:24 left to go in the second quarter. Here's the JBS Express kickoff, going to be taken by Josh Allen at the 21-yard line, going on the far side from left to right and drugged down. The ball I thought was on the turf.
It is.
Taylor Rippey stripped the football out of Josh Allen's arms, and Frisco takes over at the McKinney North 22-yard line. It was recovered by Austin Zaid, the man who made the long reception a moment ago. Also makes a big play here on special teams.
I like what Allen's trying to do there, but at some point you need to cut your losses, and what he was doing, he was kept going to on the far side. Now we have a player down as well.
Now the player is down, and Kevin McPherson was saying, hey, wasn't his momentum stopped? And apparently not. The
well, okay, so they were moving to the side, and they're in the
the injured player pops right up. It's John Alexander. So first and 10 for Frisco after the fumble recovery and the fumble by Josh Allen. And Gavin Gray talks to not his head coach. This is something we haven't mentioned. Vance Gibson, the head coach at Frisco, not on the sidelines. Never's on the sidelines. He's always up in the booth here, as you don't normally see a head coach up in the booth. Things are going well. Nobody says anything when you're winning. When you're 0-8, some people say, hey, shouldn't he be down on the field?
It works for him in the past.
It has in the past. First and 10 for Frisco here. 2 receivers near side. Handoff up the middle. Josh Hill fighting for yardage. He's fast. 15 and down at the 14-yard line. Some missed tackles by McKinney North. It'll be second down and about 4.
Monty, not saying that they could compete with the top 3 schools in the district, but the reason that the North's not number 4 and in the playoffs, what was that stat you read about their defense?
Most points given up ever.
So it's bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's your reason. You know, I mean, it's not this offense. I mean, this defense, that's pure example. That's bad tackling. That's primary defense.
Alphonse Coleman split out wide left. And this is going to be a handoff to Hill left side, and he bounces it out, now cuts it into the 5, and spun down at the 4-yard line by Malik Bowen. It's another 10-yard run for Josh Hill, and he's on fire. You know, Deontay Moore has 12 carries for 135 yards and 3 touchdowns, but Josh Hill's pretty much matching him stride for stride so far. Maybe not as many yards, but Josh Hill can run the football as well. 65 yards on 13 carries is what Kevin McPherson tells me in my ear.
He doesn't have as many big gainers as Deontay Moore does, but I'm telling you, he's had just a big impact.
First and goal for Frisco, right to left from the north 4-yard line. Gavin Gray under center, 2 tight set, handoff. Josh Hill left guard in the end zone for a touchdown. And Frisco takes the lead for the first time since the very first touchdown. 7:17 left to go in the second. It's 26-20 awaiting the PAT.
Again, defense.
Josh Hill's 3rd touchdown of the evening.
And on that situation, no one even touched him until he crossed the plane, and that's frustrating.
Here's the kick. It's a low line driver by Brad Hunt, and it's good. 27-20, Frisco leading McKinney North. 7:17 left to go in the second. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. Brad Hunt lines up for the JBS Express kickoff, and he bangs a line drive kick. It's going to be taken by Stephon Hurd. Actually, he just, it's like a line drive shot at the shortstop, and he hauls it in and falls down at the 35-yard line.
It looked like that was an onside attempt by pegging somebody, where they don't catch it. I tell you, looks like 2 attempted onsides. They didn't get either one, but a kickoff return fumble. I might just keep keeping it deep.
The Mike's Economy transmission scoring drive recap. 3 plays, 22 yards for Frisco. 1:03 off the clock. Josh Hill scores his 3rd touchdown of the night. This one 4 yards out. And the extra point makes it 27-20. Frisco in the lead. McKinney leading Sherman 26-21. They went for 2 and didn't come up on the good end of that. Here's Moore on the handoff, and he's not going to do much there. It'll be a loss of about a half step on first down. 7:04 left to go in the second quarter here at Memorial Stadium in Frisco. 27-20 Frisco in the lead.
Could you say he wanted more on that play?
Uh-huh.
If you're going to do it, I'm going to have fun with it.
3:50 left to go in that second quarter up at Ron Poe Stadium. And again, 26-21, the McKinney Lions in the lead. What a barn burner that is.
We're not our barn might be in danger here, too. 47 combined points already.
Yep.
Whoa. Got a score for you after this.
Second down and 11 for McKinney North. Left to right, Vince Stanko wants to throw out left side, and it's caught by Phillips for a first down at the 37-yard line. He did stay in bounds. That's good news. 6:18. When they move the sticks, it'll start rolling again.
Yeah, score for you, Monty. Our beloved Highland Park Scots, and you know how I love to use that term loosely. They only lead by a point in the second over Rockwall, 21-20, and then Denison Denison has a 15-0 lead on Centennial in the second.
The key there, Highland Park leading. First and 10, left to right. 6:05 and rolling here. Trying to draw Frisco off sides. It looks like they did. So possibly this one will be 1st and 5, and another penalty, which stops the clock again. 6th penalty for 40 yards.
Well, luckily it's on the defense. It'll restart here soon. But, Monty, that's the second time Stanko's gotten them off sides.
Are you kidding me? Is this really happening? 6:01 left to go in the second.
Monty, they have 2 wins between them. Cut them. I mean, it is what it is. Then one of the reasons you have 2 wins is, you don't play the crispest, cleanest games.
1st and 5, left to right, McKinney North. Chris Allen split out near side. Josh Allen in the slot. Aaron Matthews goes in motion left to right. Handoff Deontay, first down, and more to the 39-yard line. They'll mark him at the 40, move the sticks 8 yards, and it is 1st down and more again.
And like we said, this isn't the offense's fault that the Bulldogs have only 2 wins, and they've been able to move the ball somewhat consistently today. They had a rough first drive, and then, of course, they didn't get a chance on a kickoff fumble. But other than that, they've looked pretty good. The defense hasn't, and special teams has made some blunders.
1st and 10 for McKinney North, left to right. Stanko wants to throw the screen pass out to Josh Allen, makes the catch at the 40, 35, 30, and a flag down as he makes his way down to the 26-yard line.
Yeah, likely to be a holding. Again, good teams don't hurt themselves, and that would have been very close to a first down. Bare minimum, you get 8 yards on a first down play, and then you hold. Like I say, good teams, they don't hold. They make that play legally.
What an incredible barn burner at Ron Poe. Unbelievable. Still 26-21 from what I can gather here from.
Well, hold on. There's another beep.
From my text messages going crazy.
You're about to go over on your text message a lot for the month.
Yeah, you're probably right there. 1st down and 14 for McKinney North. Stanko rolling out right side, looking downfield, and he tries to hit Chris Allen on the out route, and he can't do it. It's incomplete. Allen was wide open, and Stanko couldn't hit him. Stanko has a kind of a funny throwing motion. He throws kind of from his hip pocket sidearm Sammy Baugh style. You don't really see that from quarterbacks these days. But
and that doesn't work well when you're on the run because it throws your mechanics off, and we've got an official timeout.
Yeah, apparently we need to stop the clock a little bit more. So
Coach Pratt's not happy about something.
Well, it's an official timeout, so neither team is losing a timeout here. The Denison Yellow Jackets leading Frisco Centennial 15-7. That one in the second. And Boyd and Jesuit, you said it was 14-7. Boyd, this one says tied up 7-7.
I think John got something.
Guys, we got Tommy Purple Toes down here. He popped his knee out of joint here, and our back judge, Justin Ponytail Pierce, is going to take over his position on the visiting side, and he's going to step off for at least the remainder of the first half.
So Purple Toes Gilliam now has purple knee. I guess that's what we're saying.
Huh. How do you do that? I didn't see what he did. You see officials happen all the time. Remember, they don't wear pads out there. And sometimes that's good, sometimes that's bad.
I know how to twist a knee. I can tell you all
I know you
about
do, yeah. And ankles. And
Second down and 14, McKinney North, left to right. Stanko, high snap, brings it in, throws the swing pass out to Josh Allen, who is met and spins out of a tackle to the 35 and down at about the 34-yard line. It'll be 10 yards on the pass and catch, close to a first down, but going to come up shy. It'll be 3rd and 4 at the 34.
One of the weaknesses in Vince Stanko's game, and you got to like what he's done results-wise on offense, but he choreographs where he's going because, like you mentioned, that throwing motion, what it does is, because it takes such a long time to get there, is it tells the defense, here's what's happening, and they react a lot quicker to it. And in that situation, Allen was able to make something out of that by spinning out of a tackle.
Stanko wants to throw wide open. Deontay Moore, actually, nope. That's Aaron Matthews, and he jumps over a defender and goes down at the 26-yard line. 8 yards and a first down for Aaron Matthews. Desi Beltran, the cornerback, makes the stop. Matthews has been invisible for the past few weeks, but he makes his first catch there in quite a while. 8 catches and 173 yards on the season.
Yeah, he hadn't caught, then that's the case. He was at 8 catches the last time we did a North game, so that's the last 2 weeks. Apparently when the Bulldogs are shut out, so is Matthews.
1st and 10, left to right. Stanko, high snap, brings it down. Deontay Moore trying to outrun a man, does. 25, got the 20. And he's down and stays in bounds at about the 16-yard line. They'll now say the line judge on the near side says 14-yard line. 11 yards, Kevin McPherson tells me Brandon Young will make the stop, the cornerback for Frisco. 4:23 and rolling here in the second. Frisco leading McKinney North 27-20.
Yeah, the far side that's where the play was, so he'll take the priority in setting the ball, and probably the near side was just trying to figure out where the other one put his foot down.
2 receivers to the left, Deontay Moore in the backfield, along with a fullback and Vince Stanko. Fullback goes in motion, and Deontay Moore gets the hand right up the middle. He's got the 5 and down about right there. Brian Meek was the fullback into the game. They'll spot the ball right at the 5 where Deontay Moore went down. It'll be very close to a first down, and it is. Deontay first down and more again.
Well, you can't say and more there. That was directly a first down. So new nickname just for that play.
All right, it'll be 1st and goal from the 5. 11th play of the drive for McKinney North. Left to right from the Frisco 5-yard line. Vince Stanko in shotgun formation. And he's going to hand off to the right side. Deontay Moore fighting in his touchdown time in Texas. Deontay Moore's 4th touchdown of the night with the extra point could tie this game.
Why isn't he sharing the wealth? Let somebody else score for him. But let me take that back. If it's working, keep doing it. Just keep doing it. You don't ever want to change anything that's gotten you 4 touchdowns in 1 half.
Yep, Kevin McPherson says dance with the one that brung you. And it
That's
looks
it.
like Deontay first down and more brung you tonight. Here's Frisco trying to get off the field in a hurry, and the man just does get down. A bad snap this time. Spencer Rogers is going to try to throw the football in a backpedaling motion on his way down, and it falls incomplete. What a nasty looking special teams play that was. 27-26. Frisco in the lead. 3:57 left to go before half. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK.
KLAK.
Welcome back to Frisco's Memorial Stadium in Toll Town. The JBS Express kickoff by Spencer Rogers will bounce at the 27 and take a good roll in the inside. Alphonse Coleman picks it up at the 25 and knocked down immediately at the 32-yard line. Mike's Economy Transmission Scoring Drive recap, a good one for McKinney North. 11 plays and 65 yards. It took 3 minutes and 30 seconds off the clock. And after the missed extra point, Frisco still leads here 27-26. It was a 5-yard touchdown by Deontay Moore, his 4th of the half. First and 10 for Frisco, right to left. Gavin Gray sends 2 receivers out to the right. Josh Hill in the backfield from their own 32-yard line. Right to left, and Gavin Gray wants to throw. Rolling out right side, on the run, throws downfield. Coleman this time makes the catch. Past the sticks, a 12-yard play. And I believe that may be Coleman's first catch of the evening. They've been throwing it to him all night. He's had several go in and out of his hands, but I believe that one's the first time he was actually able to bring it in. Make that the second catch of the evening.
Yeah, and the difference this time, he wasn't being pressured enough to have an errant throw, and it was actually a pretty good pass, given the fact that he was rolling out to his right side.
Coleman this time comes split out to the near side. Right to left goes Frisco. First and 10 from their own 44. Handoff, Josh Hill coming near side. He's trying to find this near sideline and runs out of bounds again. Stops the clock. 3:25 left to go in the second. Josh Hill keeps running out of bounds and stopping the clock.
Well, that's the thing so far. I'm fairly certain Kevin doesn't have a stat on this. I would be willing to bet half of the tackles for the Bulldog defense has been pushing somebody out of bounds. You need to wrap it up, and they're not doing that.
But it's not bad because he's only getting 3
saying.
yards. So the linebackers are doing a good job of scraping over.
And the secondary doing a good job of making sure that they don't bounce it outside.
Wouldn't it be nice if he'd quit running out of bounds, though? Right. 2nd down and 8. And Josh Hill gets the carry over right guard, now makes it left guard and slung down. A nice job up front by the McKinney North Bulldogs. Wink Alexander along with Aaron Matthews, John Beeman, and also I believe that was Terrence Hicks, the nose guard up there.
And Monty, when we look at this offense, we can reasonably see why the coaches thought they could be a player in this district. I mean, this offense is a pretty good offense. Maybe the last 2 weeks notwithstanding, I have no idea what happened there, but they're moving the ball pretty well with some good players.
3rd down and 5, right to left. The Frisco Raccoons. Gavin Gray rolling out right, looking downfield, and he undershoots his receiver. It'll fall incomplete. Once again, trying to hit Alphonse Coleman. And it'll bring up a 4th and 5 situation, and it looks like Frisco's going to punt here, and they will. The punter into the game, Austin Allen. Actually, no, they'll bring a new punter in. That'll be Luke Meyer will drop back. And he'll stand at his own 35-yard line. The line of scrimmage is the 49. Deontay Hudson will stand at his own 21. Right-footed kicker, end-over-end kick's going to bounce at the near side 23-yard line. Hops up about 8 yards high, and now is caught at the 21-yard line. Only 2.97 on the hang time. It's a 29-yard punt.
Yeah, and if you got a short punt, a good hang time, the time is actually less because, your players don't have to run as far when the punt's short. So that was somewhat of a benefit for him. But, again, he's starting at right around the 20-yard line. So those are really tough situations to judge a punter's success.
1st and 10 for McKinney North, coming out left to right. 2:27 left on the second quarter clock. 27-26, Frisco in the lead at Memorial Stadium in Toll Town. Brenton Griffin in at quarterback. Deontay Moore stands beside him. And Griffin wants to roll out right side and throw, and he overshoots Chris Allen It's incomplete. Allen on his normal out route down the sideline, and this one he just couldn't haul in.
Yeah, and that's a tough one because it was thrown so hard, but then again it wasn't on target, so.
Well, it was good coverage over there as well. Desi Beltran was right on Chris Allen.
You know, I know that Coach Pratt does like to mix it up, but, you know, Deontay Moore's working.
2nd down and 10. Aaron Matthews goes in motion from right to left. This will be a handoff to Deontay Moore around the left side, and he's going to be very close to a first down after a gain of about 8 yards. It'll take him to the 30, and Corey Ari, the nose guard, will make the stop. As we near the 2-minute mark here in the second quarter, Frisco leading 27-26 over McKinney North. McKinney North really needs to keep the sticks moving on 3rd and 2 at their own 30-yard line. 2 out of 4 on 3rd down, 3rd and 2, handoff, right tackle. Deontay Moore breaks one tackle. Deontay first down and more to the 36-yard line. 6 yards on the carry.
That play was made by Moore all on his own because he had 2 raccoon touching him right as he got the ball and just was able to break it loose. And,
Update.
Good news.
Update from Ron Post Stadium. A 90-yard kickoff return for McKinney. And the Lions lead 34-27 with 22 seconds left to go before half.
I'd like to hear the Jay Lindley call for that one.
I don't think so. Here's Griffin, throws a swing pass out. Deontay Hudson makes a move at the 40 and will go down after about a 6 or 7 yard gain. They say he stayed in bounds, so the clock will keep rolling at 1:17. That's irregular for the first half because anytime anybody's been near the sidelines, they've actually gone out. But this time the clock rolls.
And ironic that it happens at the end of the half when that's when you want to step out of bounds more.
2nd down and 3, handoff, right side up the middle now. Deontay first down and more to the 48-yard line. So they'll move the sticks after the first down under a minute now. And now a timeout has been called by McKinney North. We'll take 1-2 back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. You know, a Sherman fan was telling me yesterday that they were going to hold McKinney to 21 points, and I told him, if that happens, I'll tell you what, I'll go to the nearest gas station and I'll lick the oil off the pavement, and when I get done with that, I'll jump up on the canopy and jump off. I'm not going to have to do that tomorrow.
That's
Sherman's got 34
weirdest
points.
bet I would ever imagine anybody making.
Well, I don't have to do
Money
it.
I could see, but that's definitely out
you
there.
You can't bet on high school football. 1st and 10, left to right. Brenton Griffin from McKinney North rolling out left. Now wants to come back near side. Can't find anybody. Still maybe wanting to throw it. He does. Down the field, Aaron Matthews makes the catch at the 45. Gets away 40, 35, chased down. He's not real fast, and he's brought down at the 27-yard line. 21 yards on the pass and catch. A great job of by Brenton Griffin just to find something. And the nose guard runs down Aaron Matthews.
Well, before that play out, I also would have said he's not very shifty, but, man, he made a guy miss.
Clock rolling at 40 seconds. Griffin on the run to the right side throwing, and it is caught by Allen, who tight walks the side rope down the sideline, and they actually mark him out at the 20. He went for more than that, but they say he stepped out at the 20 after 7 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 3, but more importantly, there's 34 seconds on the clock. McKinney North trailing Frisco 27-26, and they're 20 yards away from the end zone.
Yeah, I thought Allen might have thought there was a defender right there, so he started going out of bounds right away, saw that there wasn't, tried to run it upfield, but his momentum was taking him out of bounds.
Deontay Moore and Brenton Griffin in the backfield, 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right, Chris Allen. Kevin McPherson says give the ball to first down and more. Griffin's going to roll out and want to throw down the field, deep down left side, up for it, and incomplete. John Alexander, they call him Wink, and he couldn't bring that one in. It was great coverage by the cornerback Brandon Young. 24 seconds, or is it 29? There's a light bulb out.
Yeah,
29 seconds on the clock.
Same light bulb as last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, Monty, I don't recognize the Wink nickname because we didn't give it. Only nicknames that you and I issue are recognized.
Yeah. So no recognizing his real nickname. What he may have, like fruit. Like fruit. What we do with Fruit Cola a couple of years ago. 2 receivers to the right. Aaron Matthews in motion, left to right. Handoff Deontay Moore, right tackle, trying to find the corner. 15, 10, and out of bounds at about the 10-yard line. And now a late flag comes in. Maybe some talking going on. A couple of Frisco Raccoons are talking about it. It's the linebacker taking over. Taylor Kraft looks like he's talking to John McKinney. Both seniors, so both have really no reason to be jawing here at each other. You would expect that maybe from a sophomore.
Yeah.
But now
or maybe just frustration.
A couple of guys
senior.
coming in.
And I tell you, I mean, it has to be talking, Monty, because there was nothing in terms of play, and it's absolutely right. You called it unsportsmanlike conduct, but I'll tell you,
it looked to me, and you know, what do I know? I'm a long way from the field, but it looked to me like the safety John McKinney was doing some mouthing down there. The linebacker Taylor Kraft quickly grabbed him as if to get him away from the officials and things. Looked like Kraft was doing the senior leadership, where McKinney was not.
Another penalty though.
First and goal from the 5 for McKinney North, left to right. Brenton Griffin in the gun. Handoff right side. Deontay Moore fighting for yardage. Flag down. It is touchdown time in Texas, but we'll check the flag.
Offside.
I think that's going to be Brandon, I think you're right.
Yeah, it was another hard count. And, man, the Raccoons are just falling for that.
Offside indicated against the Raccoons is declined.
Jeez. For those who can't hear Kevin McPherson, and you can't, 202 yards rushing in the first half, 5 touchdowns. That's some guy's career.
I think that was my career.
That was 202 more yards than my career.
2-point conversion, Brenton Griffin, 2 receivers to the left. Maybe the same play. Hey, Deontay Moore goes in motion, handoff left side. No, Brenton Griffin keeps it in the end zone, and wide open is Aaron Matthews. A great play call there. And the 2-point conversion is successful. 34-27, McKinney North in the lead, which happens to be the same score at Ron Poe Stadium for McKinney and Sherman. But it's McKinney North and Frisco here. 18 seconds left to go before half. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. Yes, it is Halloween. We have a lot of fun here. Here's JBS Express kickoff by Spencer Rogers. Will be banged down to the 22-yard line. Taken by an up man across the 40-yard line and down there at the 41. The clock still rolling. It just now stops with 12 seconds on the clock. The Mike's Economy transmission scoring drive recap. 9 impressive plays for McKinney North, 78 yards, 2 minutes and 9 seconds off the clock. Another touchdown by Deontay, first down and more. A 5-yard touchdown again. This one his 5th of the night. And now McKinney North has the lead after the 2-point conversion. 34-27. 12 seconds left to go before the half. I think Frisco, what do you think? Just probably take a knee here or maybe hand off to Josh Hill.
As what we've seen in this game, I wouldn't be surprised with anything.
Look out for Alphonse Coleman, one-on-one matched up with Wink Alexander on the far side. Gavin Gray's wanting to throw that way, drops back right now, flushed out of the pocket. He's going to run near side 45 and slung out of bounds. I believe that was John Brodus who will take Gray out of the playing surface and stop the clock at 4 seconds. Would like to see him be able to keep the ball or the player in bounds, but
yeah, that would have been key because that pretty much ends the half.
So it'll be 2nd down and 2. More importantly, there's 4 seconds on the clock, and Frisco has a shot here from their own 49-yard line. Gavin Gray goes under center. You hear the McKinney North bench yelling, "Watch for the screen." 2 receivers to the right. Gavin Gray looks right, throws deep down the field to the right side and overshoots Coleman. It's incomplete, and that's the end of the first half. 34-27, McKinney North in the lead over 0-8 Frisco. Back in a moment, 97.5 KLAK. Well, as you can hear, the band is still playing here at McKinney, at Frisco's.
No, not where we want to be, Monty, where we are.
Yeah, well, the same score, 34-27, McKinney North in the lead. And that's what the score is over at Ron Poe Stadium, 34-27. McKinney leading Sherman at the half. I'm sure that one's just about underway in the third quarter. We haven't had a score pass our way in quite some time, so I'm assuming they're having a long halftime over there as well.
Isn't this supposed to be a penalty? I mean, I know the UIL rarely enforces that, but this should be, what, a delay of game or something?
Well, both teams are back out on the field, and now the band gets back into position. They're going to play some more. So
they're coming off the field at least.
Well, they are playing the Frisco Raccoon fight song. The teams are back out in the end zone. At least one team is, being McKinney North. The Frisco Raccoons are nowhere to be found. But
I do have an update. According to our insider at the stadium, they're kicking off now down there at Ron
all right,
Poe.
very good.
So,
well, I will have some information for you after the game on McKinney records. Right now, if you take their halftime stats and you put them all time, with 34 points at half, McKinney now has 397 points on the season, and that's through 8.5 games. That would put McKinney right now third all-time in points in a season. The leading team was 566. The 1986 McKinney Lions had 566 points. That, of course, was in 16 games, and that's an average of 35.38 per game. The 1991 McKinney Lions scored 462 points in their season, but they had 13 games, and they had 286 through 8 games. But your 2008 McKinney Lions have 397 points. That's third all-time, and they've only played 8.5 games. That is absolutely unfathomable that they're averaging coming into tonight 45.38 points per game, and it looks like they're going to add to that tonight. They have 34 at the half. So I'm telling you, if you don't think this McKinney Lions offense is the most prolific you've ever seen, then you just haven't been around.
I'd like to see the rock you're living under. I mean, like you said, they break the record now. If they get shut out next week in their first playoff game, they're still I mean, it's just incredible what these guys have done.
We all know the machine of Randy Simmons and those guys. But when you just compare it's not even a comparison. The 86 team scored 35 points per game. The 2008 team is scoring 45 points per game.
And you want to know something scary?
Now, tell me about Max Nocky. I know those guys. I know those days, but it's unbelievable how awesome they were, and this team is just that much better.
And the scary thing is a lot of them will be back next year.
Absolutely.
I mean, who knows how safe that's going to be for that long time. But, Monty, go down to the district standings. Some interesting – really some interesting patterns emerge. You obviously have the cream of the crop that has obviously risen to the top. Sherman, Denison are at top of the district. Denison 8-0, Sherman 7-1, but they're both undefeated in district at 5-0. McKinney right there at 4-1 again. It all goes back to that 2-point conversion. They could conceivably be 5-0 themselves. But again, if it's a Buttrill Candy Nuts, then every day would be Christmas. And Sherman just tied it up, 34-34.
Wow.
So
didn't take long, did it?
Yeah, definitely not. And then the fourth spot, for all intents and purposes, is Frisco Centennial. According to the Dallas Morning News, it hasn't wrapped it up. According to our sources here, they have. It's just a matter of making sure the next team loses, and that would be take your pick between Wakeland, Liberty, and North, who are 1-4. I mean, how often do you see the top 3 teams with 2 games left have one loss between them, and the bottom 3 teams have, or in this case, bottom 4 teams have 3 wins between? I mean, it's clearly a distinction between the best and the worst in this district, and that's exactly what it is. And just to make sure those who are McKinney Boyd fans are happy, the playoff teams are set there. It's Allen, Plano, Wiley, Plano West, Jesuit, McKinney Boyd, and Plano East on the outside looking in.
Anything unusual about that? I think that's what we thought it would be.
Yeah, pretty much. And maybe the wild card there was Jesuit, because they're a private school. You don't know quite as much about them as you do the public schools, just because you see them on a more consistent basis and you know what they've got coming in, whereas private school, there's no districting or anything like that. And an update, Boyd is trailing Jesuit 17-14 in the third, so it's quite possible that going into next week's game, McKinney, Boyd, and Plano East will have no district wins between them.
By the way, that Sherman touchdown now gives McKinney 344 points given up, and that is now the worst defense in school history at McKinney High. So you have the best offense and the worst defense on the same team. And what's the odds of that? You've been playing football for 108 years. It's pretty strange what's going on. Here's the JBS Express kickoff by Spencer Rogers. Not an ugly kick, goes out of bounds at the 35-yard line. They really missed Bryson Long.
That didn't even bounce out of bounds. That just landed, and that almost was enough to qualify as an onside kick. And you're exactly right. Bryson Long, he's got the ability to kick that these guys don't.
We'll try to check down with Jonathan Leidy here in just a moment, right after this JBS Express kickoff.
I'm looking for the camouflage hat.
They will take it at the spot.
That's the smart thing to do for Frisco.
Don't give them not 1 yard, baby. Let's go.
Well, Frisco will take over to start the second half at their own 41-yard line, moving right to left towards the west end zone here at Memorial Stadium in Frisco. Alphonse Coleman will split out wide right, one man in the slot, and one man in the backfield is Josh Hill behind Gavin Gray, the quarterback. And Gray is going to hand it off right up the middle, and that's Josh Hill, who will squirt free for about 4 yards to the 45-yard line.
One thing that Josh Hill does really well is continue to run when he's hit. He's got numerous yards with the Bulldog trying to tackle him, and sometimes I have to use that one a little bit loosely.
Just underway in the second half, McKinney North leading Frisco 34-27. It's second down and 6 for Frisco right to left. Two receivers to the near side. Coleman is split out wide left. Hill in the backfield. Gavin Gray under center. Handoff to Joshua Hill, left tackle, breaking tackles, and he'll finally go down at the 49-yard line, shy of midfield and shy of a first down.
And again, he had the opportunity to be taken down a few yards shy, but just ran through a tackle. And there was one guy who had a chance to hit him behind the line of scrimmage, just was going to Gray, the quarterback, instead of Hill.
18-yard run by Wayman James, and that's what tied the game at 34 for Sherman against McKinney.
What a game.
Sherman drove 69 yards in 34 seconds to score. It'll be 3rd and 2 here. And Frisco handoff. Josh Hill cuts it up to the near side. First down, flag down at the 46-yard line. And Kevin McPherson says holding. This one will come back, so the first down will be wiped off.
See, I like the way that you give credit to Kevin. That way, if it's wrong, you're not the one who looks bad. Oh, right. Kevin said it was holding, not me.
I
would do the same.
When you do this for 15 years, you know how to delegate that out, you know.
Kevin was right, though. It was holding. And I noticed we said that a lot. Yeah, Kevin's right. But the time you take it for granted, it looks like it'll be holding on the play. Well, Kevin told me. Oh, yeah, you said it before. Now you're not going to say it. Yeah.
Yep, John Leidy's right. Oh, wait a minute.
Is he? Oh, good times. I wish you could hear us.
3rd down and 9 for Frisco after they back this one up. They'll be moving right to left. Ooh, we got some cookies brought into the booth.
Oh, thank you so much.
Very nice.
Oh, oatmeal raisin, too, the best in the world.
Anything chocolate there, and I'll take it. Anything chocolate, and I'll take it. Thank you to the press box here at Frisco's Memorial Stadium. Gavin Gray drops back 3 steps with to throw the deep ball down the left side, and it's intercepted and dropped at the 21-yard line. In coverage, Jordan Foster had his man beaten down the field. Thank you. and it went in and out of his lap.
We're polite here on the 97.5 KLAK.
She handed me a cookie. I had to say thanks. My mother taught me that, right?
You bet. Yeah, Jordan Foster, wish he could have that one back. That was thrown to him, and he all but Larry Brown that one.
Well, back deep to punt. Frisco will bang this one away. It's a high spiraling kick. Nice kick. It's going to be taken at the 21-yard line by Deontay Hudson. 3.19 on the hang time on a 37-yard punt. McKinney North will take over at their own 21-yard line.
And that just illustrates why penalties can be so bad. Rarely do you see a good team commit penalties. I think the Oakland Raiders in the 80s were one of the few teams that had success with lots of penalties. The problem is, in that situation, Frisco had the first down. They held the ball, then they were looking at a 3rd and 9 all of a sudden, and their pass couldn't convert the first down, so they had to punt. And that's exactly, you don't see the Highland Parks, the South Lake Carrolls, in this case the McKinney Lions on offense, make these kind of penalties because good teams don't hurt themselves.
10:03 left to go in the 3rd quarter. Vince Stanko in the game at quarterback.
I'd like to see him play
I don't
corner.
know if he can play corner or not. Here's Deontay Moore in at tailback, and Vince Stanko wants to throw it down the right side looking for Chris Allen. Makes an over-the-shoulder catch, but they say he's out of bounds. What a Willie Mays catch, but it's incomplete, and it'll be 2nd down and 10. It's just so unusual, and I hate to laugh when I see Stanko throw because I don't mean it that way. It's just a different style of throwing the football. It's almost like a shot put.
Well,
he's just chunking it from his hip.
Yeah, on that pass, he put it only where Allen can get it. That's kind of too far, maybe a little bit too far on Stanko, but Allen also has to know where the sideline is. I mean, he could have easily kept his feet in bounds.
You ever seen Vince Young throw the football? Here's a handoff to Deontay Moore. He'll cross the 25 to the 26-yard line. 5 yards away from a first down to bring up 3rd and 5 with 9:49 and rolling here in the third. McKinney North leading Frisco 34-27.
And you know the way that Deontay Moore is running, you can do passes like that on first down because you're relatively confident you're going to put yourself in a position in a good spot on 3rd down by running it.
5 out of 6 on 3rd down for McKinney North. It's 3rd and 5 here. Moore moves over to the left of Stanko, who wants to throw, and the cornerback jumps the route on the screen out to Josh Allen and going nowhere, and even backwards. It's going to be a loss on the play and bring up a 4th down and 11, a -6, or actually 5. They'll say 4th and 10. -5 on the screen pass.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing because Vince Stanko, you talk about the throw motion because it takes such a while to get the ball released. You're giving the defense an extra second or so of reaction time, and that's huge.
Well, there's a official timeout. Are they going to review
Nope.
that? No.
Frisco calls a timeout.
Frisco calls the timeout. We'll take one, too. 8:57 left to go in the third. 34-27, McKinney North in the lead. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK.
Rushing.
Jonathan Lee back to punt, boots this one away. It's going to bounce at the 44-yard line, and it'll roll dead there. 21 yards on the punt.
You remember back in the day when the Bulldogs had that success, they always had the good kicking game. And that's something that's really been lacking the last couple of years. They haven't had the ability to kick the ball with a kicking game for points, and they haven't been able to do the kicking game for field possession. I mean, right now, after a punt that had no return, Frisco is starting inside their inside the Bulldogs' 45. And Kevin tells us that's the second possession starting on that side of the field. Gray hands off to Hill, running off the right side. Stays in bounds at least, but he's tackled after a gain of about 5. And that's something I'm not sure that the Frisco Raccoons should be doing some more of, just handing it off to Hill, because every time they seem to pass, something happens. And again, they did have that holding penalty earlier, and that kind of really shot the wheels off the last drive. And here now they're looking at 2nd and 5. 2 receivers to the left side. And they've got an ace formation on the left side as well, really overloading it. Gray under center. Hill back, fumble snap. And Gray's able to fall on it. But again, going back to penalties right there, or mistakes, and more likely in that situation, that erases 3 yards off that first down gain, and now they're looking at 3rd and long again. And Jared tells me in my ear that the guard stepped on the foot. New update from Ron Poe. Sherman has taken a 41-34 lead with 7 minutes to go in the third quarter in that one. So we're almost even in time and almost even in score. 3rd and 8 for the Raccoons. Gray again under center with Hill behind him. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Back to pass. Gray looking over the middle, scrambling out of the pocket right side. Fowers down the middle, finds his man. It is caught at the 30, scrambling, and the Bulldogs are there to make the tackle. A whole host of Bulldogs. Can't see who made that. He was surrounded by Bulldogs right away.
Visit us at
And that's Roy Goodger, a sophomore, and there's a surprise. So 3rd and long converts for the Raccoons, and they're looking at 1st and 10 at the 28.
Find all your core fitness needs at McKinney Gym Equipment, dedicated to selling nothing but the safest, highest quality equipment available.
Gain of 13 yards on the play from Gray to Goodger. 1st and 10. Hill takes the handoff up the middle. Solid gain of 10 on the play.
Nice job there on first down for Josh Hill to gain another first down right up the middle, and they're just wearing down the McKinney North Bulldogs defensive front. 7:03 left to go here in the third quarter. No change in the score, 34-27. McKinney North in the lead over Frisco. Nice job by Brandon doing some patchwork for us there.
For those over there who missed, the Raccoons started at the 45, and they're now at the 17.
The ball is at the 17, as you mentioned. Gray's going to hand off Josh Hill. Running left side's got spun down at the 11-yard line. Stephon Hurd on the stop. About a 5-yard gain on first down to bring up second down and 5. Obviously, as we're about at 6 minutes and 25 seconds on the clock here in the third quarter, McKinney North leading 34-27.
And that's one of the better ways to tackle Hill. He has shifty momentum, so try to take him in the momentum that he's going and get him off balance.
2 receivers to the right and a tight end / H-back. And Josh Hill is about 8 yards deep. He gets the hand left tackle. And right there, John Beeman and company just wrap him up. It was a great job. Also there, Frank King. And it'll be no gain in a third down situation for Frisco. 5:54 left to go in the third.
That's the best John Beeman has looked on the defensive line against Hill running right up the middle. Interesting choice here. Aaron Matthews comes in on that defensive line, and you're not going to find a much bigger body than that at the 4A level.
Sherman forced a punt on McKinney, and Wayman James added a short touchdown run again. And that's what brought Sherman's lead, 41-34. Here's Gavin Gray on the run, wanting to roll out right. And now he comes back near side, still wanting to throw in the end zone, and it's incomplete. Looking about 7 yards deep for his receiver out there, Taylor Rippey, but it was pretty nice coverage by Jonathan Lee.
And Gray's had a really good ability of scrambling outside the pocket. There's been several times today where he's had Bulldogs in his face, and they haven't yet to sack him that I'm aware of.
1 out of 1 on fourth downs for Frisco, who are going to try for it here on 4th and 5 from the McKinney North 12-yard line with 5:20 left to go in the third quarter. Trailing McKinney North 34-27. 2 receivers to the right, an H-back to the right. Joshua Hill straight back in I formation, actually a lone setback. Gavin Gray under center, barking, drops back 3 steps, blitz coming in his face. He escapes a sack, and now he can't escape 3 others. Right there, Spencer Rogers along with Frank King. What a great play and a great defensive call on the blitz there by McKinney North, and they'll take over.
And just as I asked Kevin McPherson, they haven't sacked Gray yet today in one play early. I don't think they've sacked him yet. And they get their first sack of the game, and for the first time, Monty, we can actually tell where our coaches are. They're one floor above us because they made, the pounding on the floor. That's really one of the biggest plays they've had. And by the way, halfway through this third quarter, no score. We all saw that coming, didn't we?
Yeah, absolutely. Not so much up at Ron Poe Stadium, though. It's 41-34.
Well, if you go 3 minutes without a score in that game, that's a drought.
McKinney's given up 2 straight scoring plays, and that's not good news if you're a Lions fan. Man in motion for McKinney North, high snap, and this is going to be Deontay Moore left side, and he's not going to get much of anything there. Might have lost 3 yards, and they will move the stick back to the 15-yard line as we're just about under 5 minutes in the third. Cord Airy, the senior nose guard, makes the stop along with a couple of other Frisco Raccoons there.
I think John may have, but I guess not. All right, never mind. Gwen, does he ever have anything for us?
Oh, now.
Oh, we're all having fun today. We better have fun today.
Left to right, McKinney North. Shotgun formation, Brenton Griffin, 2 receivers to the left. And Griffin rolls out that way, looking downfield, in trouble. Caught from behind. Now escapes out to the 15 and down at the 19-yard line. A gain of 1, a late hit of not a very smart play by Frisco. And that'll
I can tell you exactly who it was, too. Cord Airy, for some reason, thought with Griffin on his way down, he's better dive to try to get credit for a tackle. And, boy, all you did was take what would have been a 3rd and 10 and make it a 1st and 10. Not a smart play. And, again, I don't want to sound like I'm harping on this. Good teams don't make that mistake. It's quite easy to see in situations like that why this team has no wins on the year.
Well, my goodness. 41-41. Up at Ron Poe.
Yeah, real concerning, Monty. Just who saw that one coming?
My goodness, what a game.
You think Jay will be hoarse at the end of this one?
What a game.
Well, you would have been hoarse if we were there.
I don't think.
We need you for the postseason.
I probably would have passed out by now if I were doing that game. 1st and 10, left to right. Brenton Griffin and McKinney North. Send two receivers left side. Aaron Matthews, the stand-up tight end on the left. Near side is Chris Allen. Man goes in motion, and Deontay Hudson gets the carry from left to right, and he's popped along the line of scrimmage. Never got to turn it upfield. It'll be 2nd down and 10. The linebacker, Zach Means, makes the stop.
Boy,
for
did
Frisco.
he. He put a helmet in the gut of Hudson. Woo! Of course, Hudson more of a sitting duck there. He was already wrapped up, and that was just an easy target for Means.
Apparently 4:53 left to go in the third over at Ron Poe. Pretty close to where we're at in this game.
How do we have no score, and they scored 100 times?
I don't know. Because Frisco keeps running out of bounds.
But they don't seem to have done that this quarter. That's the weird thing.
Handoff. Deontay Moore up the middle. Squirts. Nope, can't get away. Lose a yard or two. So it was all Deontay Moore the first half, and not much here in the second. It'll be 3rd down and 12 or so. It'll be the nose guard, Cord Airy, and Austin Allen, the outside linebacker, making the stop. They're doing a great job on Deontay Moore.
In this half. May I remind you, with his 2-yard half, that brings his grand total to 204. So he's already put his mark on this one. And this is only the second drive, correct, Kevin, of the half? So he hadn't had a lot of opportunities.
Griffin wants to throw left side. Now he's flushed out of the pocket. Throwing down the field, wide open. Jonathan Lee makes the catch at the 38. He's gone. Kiss him goodbye. It is touchdown time in Texas. 68 yards from Griffin to Jonathan Lee, who was wide open.
Griffin almost didn't throw it thinking it was a defender. He was so deep in the backfield of,
It almost looked like Lee snuck off the bench and just ran out there and said, hey, I'm open, throw it to me.
Well, I think the feet of Griffin really made that one because he started to roll out of the pocket. And again, not having seen who was covering him, it's tough to say. But, with Griffin coming out, I can conceivably see the safety sneaking up on that one.
He snuck off the bench. Was it Jonathan Lee or Jonathan Leidy?
Well, we know Leidy would have been tackled after catching him. Probably maybe even dropped it. He's a lineman.
Spencer Rogers, flags will get thrown before this one can get underway.
Of course, that offended Jared.
Kevin, did you say 68 yards? Yep, 68-yard touchdown.
Jared, a former lineman himself, said, I could have caught that one. Don't bash all linemen, just bash Leidy. Because, those two hate each other.
Spencer Rogers will step this one off as Brenton Griffin will hold. Waiting on the snap by Garrett Beasley, our senior spotlight member from this week. The kick is a low, that's a high line drive kick. It's going to be close, and it's good. 41-27, right? Yes, 2:42 left to go in the third. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK.
KLAK.
The JBS Express kickoff is an onside kick by McKinney North. It bounces and bounces and bounces and bounces, and finally Frisco recovers at their own 38-yard line. So they'll set up shop from their own 38, moving right to left.
That ended up being a decent kick. It's only going to be at the 38 because it just kept rolling. Remember, they're only trying to get it to the 50. That's the 10 yards they need for that to be an effective onside. They ended up getting 12 more yards out of it. And it almost worked just because it kept going through Frisco Raccoon players.
Split out wide right is Alphonse Coleman. They normally split him with the double set. And Gavin Gray's looking that way down the right side, going up for it. Turn around, it's intercepted. John Alexander picks it off and runs out of bounds down the far sideline. They'll stop. They'll actually mark him out about the 27. A 32-yard return. Gavin Gray put it up in the air on the jump ball, but he didn't throw it far enough.
Well, and John almost didn't see that when he was sticking with his defender, and I guess he heard me tell him turn around because he certainly did right at that time, and about as easy as he get. Again, though, and this defense really starting to find pressure on Gray, which makes you wonder why they're not running Hill so much because the passing game has just been their weakness right this point. And that pressure forced a low pass, and all John had to do was turn around, and sure enough, he did. Easy interception.
First down and 10, left to right. McKinney North at the Frisco 27 after the interception. This is going to be Stanko looking down the field, deep down the right side, going up for it. It's Chris Allen, and he can't come back and make the catch. He has his palms in the air as if to say, hey, I had a guy all over me, but
Show me a receiver who doesn't say that. And it was just incidental contact. You know, the defender has the right to the ball too, and that's what really becomes at issue during these key times. You know, the defender doesn't have to sit there and see if you catch it. And as long as they, don't impede your ability to catch it, then they're okay. And that's exactly what happened there.
2:22 left to go in the third. McKinney North leading 41-27. Left to right, McKinney North handoff Deontay Moore up the middle, breaking tackles, has the first down and more to the 12-yard line. 13 yards for Deontay Moore, and they'll move the sticks. And more, and more, and more.
Well, you can't move the sticks more. You just hope you keep doing it more times down the road.
Zach Means on the stop. You know what I mean.
I just meant it's a fun nickname. There's so much you can do with the last name of Moore.
Two receivers to the left, and this is going to be offside. It's clearly against McKinney North as John Turner fired off the foot. Well, do you think that was a running play or a pass play?
Well, I'm guessing since they're pulling the linebacker out of the goalpost now because he was thrown 25 yards, it's probably a run because I don't know who it was, but that raccoon's plastered.
Obviously a run play because the lineman fired off the line there, and John Turner can't do that. They'll back it up 5 yards. 3 penalties for North now. 25 yards. This is going to be Stanko throwing over and under for Josh Allen, who lowers his shoulder. Does he go in? It is touchdown time in Texas. 18 yards from Stanko to Josh Allen underneath, and a linebacker missed him.
Boy, clearly missed him. All of a sudden, this has turned from a close one-possession game to a rout. 3 possessions. And remember, halfway through the third quarter, we had no score in the quarter. Oh, and then points out this is the 4th possession. The last 3 have gone for touchdowns. They punted on their first. And man, North looking good now, defense and offensively.
Spencer Rogers on for the extra point. The snap is good. The hold is good. The kick is up, and this is the best-looking kick we've seen tonight. It's good. 48-27, McKinney North in the lead over Frisco. $1:43 left to go in the third. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. The JBS Express kickoff just about underway, and they fake the onside this time. McKinney North does. So Spencer Rogers will line up and bang this one, and it'll be another yucky kick down the right side and another flag. This one will be delay of game against Spencer Rogers and McKinney North. The Mike's Economy transmission scoring drive recap, 3 plays, 27 yards for McKinney North. Took 45 seconds off the clock. An 18-yard touchdown pass from Vince Stanko to Josh Allen brings our score 48-27. McKinney North in the lead over Frisco. Another 9-4A score we have for you. Denison leading Frisco Centennial 29-16. That one, 1:12 left to go in the third. Hey, is Denison, did they show up? Did they play their JV tonight?
A lot closer now. Is Mosikowski back? But that doesn't explain the defensive effort for the Centennial. Interesting.
We want to thank True Image Productions, Chris McClintock tonight for passing along some of our scores to us, helping us out, sending text messages to us from Ron Post Stadium. Also, we want to thank Germain Designs, as always, for providing our broadcast uniforms year in and year out for about the past 10 years. They've provided us with great embroidery work on our shirts, not only for our broadcast, but also Sherman and Denison. And this time, once again, they'll fake the onside on the JBS Express kickoff. And Spencer Rogers, who takes only 3 steps on the kick, will bang this one to about the 27-yard line. And Spencer Rogers, I believe, no, it wasn't Rogers. I thought for a moment he was the man on the stop. But it was actually Frank King, I believe, on the bottom of that pile. Let's check down with Jonathan Leidy. John, what do you got for us?
Guys, Coach Corey Homer pulled his 2 sophomore offensive linemen, Devontae Field and John Beeman, down a while ago and had to talk with him. They picked it up on that last possession, so back up to y'all.
All right, thanks a lot, John. 48-27. Left to right, or right to left, rather, Frisco. 2 receivers to the right. Gavin Gray, handoff. Joshua Hill in trouble behind the line of scrimmage. And a nice play by McKinney North there.
Where's this defense come from all of a sudden? I mean, they've been stifling here in this third quarter. And that's not just a few minutes we're looking at. They did a whole quarter's worth. Monty, I don't know if you have the ability. Have they had a shutout quarter this year? I mean, I'm sure they've had to, but not recently. Definitely not in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, actually, yes, they did in overtime, if that counts. A minute 4 left to go in the third, 48-27. McKinney North in the lead over Frisco. 2 receivers to the near side. Josh Hill in the backfield. Gray wants to throw. Under pressure and sacked back to the 30-yard line. Spencer Rogers, along with a couple of other guys there. Terrence Hicks, the nose guard, and Tony Brown also there. -7 on the play will bring up third and very long, 3rd and 21. As Kevin points out, that's the second sack for Spencer Rogers.
Again, I ask, where's this defense been all year? Barring a out-of-bounds play or an incompletion, this should be the last play of the quarter.
15 seconds on the third quarter clock. 2 receivers to the right. Handoff. Hill, right guard, lowers his shoulder, and he makes his way to the 35-yard line. And that will be the last play of the third quarter. 48-27, McKinney North in the lead over Frisco. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. Memorial Stadium in Frisco, Texas. It's punt time for the Frisco Raccoons. It's a high punt, going to bounce to the 42-yard line. And it'll roll inside the 35 to about the 34. 31-yard punt for Frisco, and McKinney North will take over, moving right to left. So we have a score from Ron Poe. Sherman goes back on top, 48-41, with 11 minutes left to go in the game.
Really no surprise.
On the second play of the fourth quarter, Wayman James, his 4th touchdown run of the night.
Well, remember, McKinney did score twice just to tie the score back up. So,
wow.
At this point, and you know what? It might work in their favor. Remember, Dennison scored last and got ahead because of a 2-point conversion. So, just because you're behind doesn't mean necessarily bad things.
Two receivers near side for McKinney North who switch around. They'll move right to left now. Brenton Griffin will hand off. Deontay Moore right up the middle, and he fights for about 9 yards right over the official. And we may be losing officials tonight, but he pops right back up. So a gain of, what are we going to say, Kevin? 8 yards on first down.
He went up, got in Deontay Moore's face, and said, "That's it, huh? You got to try harder on me." Started thumping his chest. Then was high-fiving it. No, gross exaggeration on my part. All he did was get up.
Second down and 2. 11:15 left to go in the game. 2 receivers near side. Brenton Griffin barking and shotgun. He fakes the hand, rolls right, throwing it down the field. Aaron Matthews, the tight end, makes the catch at the 50. I believe that's Matthews, and it is. And that'll be a first down. A reception of 8 yards by Aaron Matthews. It'll be 1st and 10 for McKinney North, right to left.
Yeah, nice job by Brenton Griffin. He found Matthews and really threaded the needle on that one, and didn't take a sack either. That was a really good-looking play.
McKinney North's 24th first down of the night compared to 11 for Frisco. 1st and 10 here. As Griffin's still in the gun, he sends a man in motion, and they give the hand to him. That's Deontay Hudson trying to escape outside, and he squirts free. I think a face mask, and finally is knocked backwards and ran out of bounds after a big loss of about 5 yards. However, let's check the flag, and I believe it's going to be a face mask.
There's going to be at least 2 face mask penalties and possibly a holding. Oh, no, they missed the face mask? Unless the referee saw holding and now he's consulting with the line judge.
While the officials are talking this one over, Chris McClintock sends me a text message, says 48-41 Cats, 10:57 left to go in the 4th. This game will never end, is what he says.
Dude, does he know where we are?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, now I wonder what the discussion is. They have to be considered. Well, that doesn't matter as much because you just take, okay, this one's the one we accept, this is the one we decline. There was definitely a face mask. I mean, we all saw it.
Well, we'll let these officials sort it out. They're going to call a hold against McKinney North.
So they just Had all this talk over a holding penalty and totally missed the face mask.
Wow.
Interesting. Come on, Tommy. We need you. Where's your knee, buddy?
Yeah, we need old purple knees.
Guys, as I was speaking a while ago, Coach Corey Homer pulled his young offensive lineman over to the side, and he was saying, guys, you got to step it up. And in the very next possession, I mean, John Alexander got that interception. They took and ran that ball, and finally came up with another touchdown. I mean, he congratulating his offensive line. The defense is when their next possession, they're going to put in some reserves to see what these reserves. I mean, this is a game that we're kind of building on next year for both teams. So you're going to see a lot of the changes on both sides of the ball, and I look for the defense to put in a lot of their young people, and maybe they're going to be a little small up front. I mean, but we're going to see how much heart they've got up on the line there. Back up to y'all.
10:39 left to go in the football. Actually, yeah, in the football game. I thought this game is last forever. Are we still in the third?
No,
wow.
luckily, and the officials took a timeout, an official timeout. And I'm not sure why. I think they had to explain something on the other end of the sideline for the Bulldog coaching staff, which, again, all three of us clearly saw a face mask. So it's up to the line judge. That happened right in front of them.
Well, now we're just about ready to get underway again. 1st and 21, McKinney North, right to left, two receivers to the right. Chris Allen near side, split out wide. And Griffin's going to hand off Deontay Moore around the right tackle. He's hit and met, dropped down after about 3 or 4 yards to the 42-yard line. 10-13 and rolling left in this football game, and McKinney North leading 48-27.
I'm not sure that's an accurate mark-off, because if it's 21, that means that's an 11-yard penalty, and I know some people say it's from the spot of the foul, but at any point it can't go past the line of scrimmage. I mean, you can hold 3 yards back. It's still only a 10-yard penalty.
We've got Jonathan Lee now split out wide left, and Chris Allen split out wide right. Josh Allen in the slot on the far side. Actually, that's Deontay Hudson. Deontay Moore now moves to the right, and they fake the hand to him. Griffin on the run, rolling to the right side, looking down the field, throws Matthews. Now that's Deontay Hudson, makes the catch 50 and squirts down to the 45-yard line inside Frisco territory, 11 yards. Make it 13 on the play, and it'll bring up about 5 yards needed for the first down, and it's the linebacker Zach Means who makes the stop on Deontay Hudson. We'll call it 3rd and 4 from the Frisco 44-yard line.
Definitely a good play on that situation. You're looking at 2nd and pretty long. You got most of it back. You'll definitely take that.
6 out of 8 on 3rd downs for McKinney North. Look out for Jonathan Lee. Big Jonathan Lee to the near side. Split out wide left. Griffin. He's going to hand off to Deontay Moore, who has the first down and fumbles, and I believe he jumped back on it.
Nope.
No, Frisco has it. It's recovered by Austin Allen for Frisco, and they'll take possession at their own 36-yard line with 8:40 left to go.
That's a momentum killer, because you had all this drive going, and it would have been a first down, and it was just stripped out. And that's the sad thing, is he wasn't stripped while his momentum was stopped. He was still running toward the end zone, and that's why he didn't get back on it.
1st and 10 for Frisco, left to right, trailing by 19 points. And they hand off. Josh Hill up the middle for 3 yards to the 39-yard line.
Hill on the carry, brought down by number 4, Diaz.
Brought down by Emilio Diaz, the linebacker. It'll be 2nd down and about 7 or so.
And incumbent upon the defense here to continue the momentum they started in that 3rd quarter, because if they can get a stop here, obviously that negates the fumble. And that's what you want to see from your defense, is to rise up and make a play.
Gavin Gray under center, 2nd down and 7 for Frisco, and he's going to hand off. Josh Hill, left tackle, breaks out 40. Look out, 45, near midfield to the 48-yard line, and drugged down by, I believe that was Stephon Hurd. 9 yards on the play and a first down for Frisco with 7:58 left to go in the game.
Hill's starting to do something when he gets to that sideline. He's not running out of bounds. He tries to cut it up for more yardage. In that situation, the clock stopped for the first down. But once they set, it still moves in motion, and that could have an effect for the Raccoons. when they're down by 3 possessions, you need to have all the time you need, or all the time you can get in that fourth quarter.
Things must be slowing down at Ron Poe Stadium. Haven't heard
No
much
kidding.
lately. Sherman was in the lead 48-41. Here's a handoff up the middle, and that's a new ball carrier into the game. And it's going to be Devontae Dunford. Actually, no, that's Carlos Harris. 7 yards on the play.
Well, I've got 2 different rosters, and neither one of them have that name.
Yeah, he was added this evening.
Yeah, I know, but that just shows you the situation that this Raccoon team is in, you know? I mean, it's just...
new freshman tailback.
Yeah, and not a bad one at that.
I haven't seen a freshman tailback since Corey Robertson on varsity. 2nd down and 3. And this will be flags on the play before this one can get underway. Still staring at this cookie that's sitting on the table. The press box lady brought it to us.
I think I lost another pin to the press box, Monty. They have this little groove that if a pin falls in, you don't get it back. And I think I just lost my pin.
I don't know how that groove can hold about 800 pins, but it can somehow.
Yeah,
every year.
We seem to use one every year. I'm hoping I can get it, but I'm not holding my breath.
2nd down and 8 for Frisco, left to right, 6:46 as Brandon crawls all over the floor here at Memorial Stadium.
It's in that groove.
Handoff, and that's Carlos. That's the freshman Carlos Harris who's met in the backfield. Great play by McKinney North. Spencer Rogers. A heck of a game by Rogers at linebacker tonight. 3rd tackle for a loss tonight by Rogers.
And that's probably the one that has the most impact. That was a force hit. And at this point, Frisco's looking to trim that lead down. And a 3rd and 9 is definitely a lot better than what they were looking at just a few seconds ago at 2nd and 6.
Will be 3rd and 9 with 6:07 left to go in the game. Left to right, Frisco. Gavin Gray under center. 1 man in the backfield. And Gray wants to throw. Looking left side. Has his man caught Coleman and out of bounds. Actually, they'll say he stayed in bounds, and John Alexander pushed him out. 11 yards and a 1st down for Frisco. Sherman now leading 55-41 over McKinney. 5:35 left to go in the 4th.
It's only 2 scores, but, man, it seems like a lot more than that.
It does.
I think once you get in that high, you have a hard time comprehending just how much 2 scores is because you rarely go to that level. You know, 21-7, obviously, you know, is 2 scores, but once you get 55-41, it's like, man, that's a lot.
1st and 10 for Frisco here with 5:55 left to go. Coleman split out wide right, and this is going to be Gavin rolling right, and he's going to run to the 40. Got the 35 and out of bounds at the 31-yard line. Stop running out of bounds.
There's what you need to do is you need to do it like you're doing. Just rub their nose on the out-of-bounds line and say no.
Yeah.
No.
You know, we're going to put these bumpers up like they have in arena football. You have to stay in bounds.
You know, I would like to see high school arena football, I think. I think that'd be fun.
Well, I think they play some sort of that out in West Texas, don't they?
6-man.
Yeah.
It is kind of. I bet that's where the inspiration for arena came from.
2nd down and 2 for Frisco. Harris in the backfield. He gets the carry. Splits it up the middle to the and now moves right side to the 25 and out at the 24-yard line. He's got some quickness, and that's Josh Hill back in the game. It's not Harris. Hill showing some tremendous quickness there.
Yeah, you bet.
.127 yards on 28 carries for Josh Hill tonight.
Well, we're 75% through the second half, and knock on wood, to this point, Frisco hasn't scored. They're knocking on the door here, but, boy, you like the performance for this DPD second half.
Hill also has 3 touchdowns on the ground. And this is going to be the same play, but this is not Hill. This is Harrison to the game to the 20, to the 15, and knocked out of bounds. And that's going to be Jordan Foster who knocks him out. They will mark him out at the 15-yard line, so it'll be a 9-yard gain. A yard shy of the first. Timeout North. We'll take 1-2. 48-27 North leading. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. Welcome back to Memorial Stadium in Frisco. 48-27, McKinney North in the lead over Frisco.
5:20 left to go in this one, and right now you just want to see something out of your defense. You know, I'd be happy giving up a field goal right now, maybe even taking them to 4th down on this set. They're looking at a 2nd and 1 now. But, you know, they've played a great second half. They haven't given up a point yet, and this is their best drive if you're Frisco, the worst drive if you're a Bulldog.
2nd down and 1, as you mentioned here, and it's going to be Harris in the backfield. Carlos Harris, the freshman, has a 2-tight set handoff. Harris met at the line of scrimmage, nothing doing there. Knocked backwards and maybe knocked silly. Now a late flag comes in. Spencer Rogers again. And it looks like it may be a face mask. Kevin says it's going to be a face mask.
There you go.
We'll see. And it is. Kevin's right again.
The minute he's wrong is you're going to say it looks like a face mask. Nah, Kevin says broken rod's right twice a day. Man, you've been right like 100 times a day and yet to be wrong, so I'm not buying that one.
Okay, Ron Poe, here we go.
What? I'm anxiously waiting.
Sherman 55, McKinney 48 with 4:30 left to go in the 4th.
Dude, that's enough time to four more touchdowns each.
That's exactly right.
Kevin says 8. No, he doesn't.
2 receivers to the left. Ball at the 8. 1st and goal from the 8. Handoff on the counter play, and nothing doing there. Another great stand by that DPD. Yeah, we were talking about Jonathan Lighty just asked me who the player of the game might be. And
boy, take a pick. Deontay Moore, Spencer Rogers playing great linebacker. Wink doing a great job in coverage.
I think Spencer Rogers for sure.
You know what? There's as much trials and tribulations this Bulldog has. It may be right to name a couple of them. And that's our call. We get to do what we want. We're the broadcasters.
It's the last time we'll see the McKinney North Bulldogs in 2008. We'll be doing McKinney Boyd next week. Looking left side of the end zone for Coleman, and he overshoots him. It's incomplete. Gray couldn't hit him. Pretty good coverage, but it was just a pass that couldn't have been brought down.
And John Anderson again on coverage there, and it makes you wonder if John Anderson's doing what he's doing, that makes those passes go high because coverage has a lot to do with it. It's a lot easier to hit a wide open receiver.
Yeah, not John Anderson, but John Alexander. John Anderson.
Know what I say? Oh, yeah, definitely.
John Anderson would have been swinging.
Hey, you know what? The colored guys aren't always the best at remembering the names of the guys who they're supposed to remember. So, and it's been a long game. It's Halloween.
Third
tricks and treats. And
third goal here. Gavin Gray is going to fake the hand, roll right, looking for Coleman in the end zone. Runs out of room and is sacked back at the 23-yard line by Tony Brown. And a great play there once again by McKinney North's D. Third sack of the game by McKinney North.
All in the second half. I can say this defense really come up. That's exactly what I asked for. I'd like to see a stand here. Now they're looking at, depending on who you ask, it's going to be 4th and goal at the 21-yard line. Nice job by that defense.
So it'll be 4th down here. For Frisco, left to right, 4:08 left to go in the game. 4th and 21. 2 receivers left, 1 right. Man in the backfield is Carlos Harris. Gray wants to throw. Deep down the left side, wide open. Coleman in the end zone. Did he bring it in? No, it's incomplete because Wink Alexander caught up to him and knocked the ball away, but he's limping on the track. I think Alexander might have turned his ankle.
It's quite possible. He came down on that awful ugly, but that was necessary to break up the pass. So it's kind of tough to, he's using his instincts, so it's kind of tough for him to say, okay, make sure you step on your ankle right.
Second time Frisco has turned it over on downs in the end zone.
So does that count if it's at the 21 for the play? That's kind of gray area.
It was 4th and goal.
We're inside. You're right. It's 4th and goal, but again, one of those football stats aren't black and white like you wish they were.
Right to left, McKinney North with 4:02 left to go, trying to kill this clock. Handoff, right side, Deontay Moore, big hole, spins out of a tackle, and all the way to the 27-yard line, a 6-yard gain, and a tough ground game there by Deontay Moore, who's just piling up the numbers tonight.
Yeah, all you got to do is get up real slow, keep holding on to that ball. Unless you get the first down, then get up real quick so they can set it.
241 yards on 30 carries for Deontay Moore. He also has 5 touchdowns to his credit tonight. 2 receivers near side. Stanko into the game at quarterback with 3:30 left to go and rolling here in the 4th. This is going to be Stanko on the pitch to Deontay Moore, right side. He's got some room and spun down from behind. And a flag down at the 33. This could be another horse collar tackle.
You
and
bet.
Another penalty against Frisco, which stops the clock. It'll be Taylor Kraft guilty of throwing him down.
There's been several times where that horse collar could have been called, and that one was clearly the best example of what should have been called. And 11 penalties now for this Raccoon team. And again, you know, not to sound like a broken record, but good teams don't do that. It's really easy to see why they haven't won a game. And then on the other end of the deal, you know, you wonder where this defense has been. And again, you wonder maybe if that's because Frisco's winless that they make them look better. So it's tough to say. But, you know, this has definitely been a really good performance, especially in the second half by this Bulldog team. Both offense and defense have looked really well.
1st and 10 for McKinney North now as they walk off the sticks. Kevin says the ball should be at the 49, and Kevin is right. 2 receivers near side, Chris Allen, and I believe that's Josh Allen in the slot. Stanko and Moore in the backfield. Stanko hands off Moore, right side, and he'll get 5 yards to the 46-yard line in Frisco territory as we near the 3-minute mark and now are under the 3-minute mark. Austin Allen on the stop for Frisco.
You know, Kevin's wife's going to get sore at you, Monty, with all you keep saying, and me too, you know, saying he's right and all that. He's going to go home with a big head, and yeah, he's going to go home with a big head, and there's going to be a big fight. And, well, I'm always right on the broadcast.
All of a sudden, Kevin's coming over to my house every night.
Get your couch ready.
2nd down and 5. Handoff Deontay Moore to the right side. Not much doing there. Same play, and it'll be 3rd down and 5. It was 2nd and 5.
At this point, the main thing that matters is taking that time off the clock, and that's, like I say, get up slow. Play clock hadn't started yet, and it won't start until they set the ball and signal it ready to begin. And now we're talking, still have it set at 25 seconds have gone off the clock, so you're looking at a minute between plays if you get up slow. Perfect.
New player into the game for McKinney North. Evan Camberry will come into the slot. Josh Allen will check out. Also some other guys that I didn't get to catch their jersey number. It'll be 3rd and 5. And Stanko eludes pressure.
Geez.
There's a face mask, and he finally spins out of the tackle, goes back to the line of scrimmage. But this was a huge face mask, and it was very obvious. And if they don't call this one, you know, we have some problems with purple toes and purple knees down there.
It's a good bet that there's a face mask when your head is sticking straight out and your body is going in a completely different direction. And again, we talk about it. Here we are, looking at a 3rd and 5 at the start of that one. They were getting pressure, and now they commit a penalty. But I'm going to give a lot of credit to Stanko on that one. He faked a pass that forced the defender to leave, and all he could do, the only thing he could grab was a face mask. So a little credit there to Vince on that one for making that one into a 1st down, and that pretty much all but seals it.
1:45 and rolling here in 4th quarter.
Hey, where's Chris with our updates? Come on.
Yeah, I'm sitting here doing the voodoo on my phone. Come on. I want an update.
I'll have Jared text his family. They're at the game.
1:32. McKinney North taking their time here, leading 48-27 over Frisco. High snap. Deontay Moore on the carry, and he'll fight for 1 yard.
And see, and that's just perfect in this situation. Frisco's not going to call a timeout that I believe. And so you're looking at 2 more plays, and this one's done, and that's all you got to do. Get up slow. Get up slow. Whoa. Chris I'm confused. Thanks, Chris. Kevin coming up with a score. It's a bit of a shocker. Hebron 44, South Lake Carroll 28 in the 4th.
Wow.
Remember, we used to know how good Hebron was.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they were real fun for that 1 year that I got to call them, and they just whipped everybody. Went pretty deep in the playoffs, too.
Brian Brazel and company over there.
Ding, ding, ding. Yeah.
2nd and 8 for McKinney North. Just trying to run this one out. We're under 40 seconds now.
Should be the last play.
Stanko takes a knee, and that should do it. 48-27, McKinney North wins tonight over Frisco.
Right now, the officials have to go through the motion of setting this one, but they're taking their time putting the ball down, and now there's less 25, so it's done.
Yep, this one's in the record books, and unfortunately for McKinney North, they have broken their defensive record where they're the worst team in school history. However, they do win tonight.
Yeah.
And they're 3-6 on the season, 2-4 in district. They have 48-27 win tonight at Memorial Stadium.
And it's ironic they break their record with arguably one of their better defensive performances of the year, particularly in the second half where they shut them out.
They have a score from Denison. They're leading 39. Actually, they win tonight, 39-16. That's a final. It's a final here, 48-27. McKinney North beats Frisco. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK.